Hello, welcome to the Age of Sigmar Six Nations Day 2. I'm Rob, this is Adam. We're at the T-Sports Network, the home of T-Sports. Exciting day, Adam. Like, I'm a bit nervous now.
I would say it's a little bit scary, right? Because it's actually intense today. Two big matches today.
Two big matches today. So we ended yesterday with three teams pretty much capped. Two teams capped.
Two teams capped.
Two teams capped. So Wales and England, and that meant that the rounds that they played, they basically have got the opportunity to win. Now, they're playing in this round we're about to cover. If they do draw, Northern Ireland win their round, it goes to a round 5 and it becomes very nail-biting. Yep. However, I mean, whoever plays Wales or England in round 5 could also beat them.
Yep.
So it's not all over because of the way the scores are capped, but this might likely decide the champions.
This is the most crucial match of the whole weekend.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. So we're going to bring you the matches in literally a minute. You can follow along and find all the results if you want on the Age of Sigmar Six Nations Twitter account. So go follow that, and you'll be able to find that there. The lists are going to be in chat in a minute. Let's jump into some of the games, or let's try to jump into some of the games right now. The lists are in. That's everything we need.
Yep.
We're good. Our table bosses are Mark and Matt for this weekend. So big shout out to them. Let's go. I'm so excited.
Here we go.
I'm so excited. Okay, so we've got Darren versus Alex. We're getting right into the game before we've even done deployment. So very excited about this. Let me talk about both players for a minute before we talk about the lists. Darren Watson probably doesn't need much introduction when it comes to playing Warhammer Age of Sigmar. If you are already a fan of Age of Sigmar, you'll know about Darren Watson. You know about
100%.
the list diaries. You'll also know he's been a member of several major team champions. He's the Brotherhood, which is an English team championship champion.
Welsh.
It's in Wales, I guess. So it's a Welsh team championship. He's also in the England Six Nations team and also the previous Worlds team. Now, the England aren't technically the World's champions anymore because the event happened in England. The event happened during COVID. But part of a world champion team as well. So Darren probably does, and also a winner of many an event, so doesn't need much introduction. Alex, on the other hand, has been, I don't want to say a background player, but has been a player of some note in many events, but hasn't necessarily constantly dominated top tables. But he has been around the top tables quite constantly for several years.
So
for several years. So, and Alex has got some really good chops when it comes to Warhammer Age of Sigmar. He really knows what he's talking about, and he's really excited. Now, I didn't love his list when we talked about it, but this is the upset game, in my opinion. This is kind of the Darren who thinks he's kind of out of it. Like, he always puts that pressure on himself, which he really shouldn't do because he's already won 3 games yesterday.
Exactly.
Like, it's just something he just always is questioning his skill sets, and that's what I think makes him such a good gamer, because he questions his own skill sets, pushes himself forward, and therefore he gets better and better and better.
Yeah, definitely.
Alex, on the other hand, is coming into it with a lot of confidence. He's been studying up quite hard. He's pretty keen. I don't know. What do you think?
I think Alex is quite confident about this matchup. I think Team Wales is very confident about this matchup. I think it's a very even match. So Alex playing Daughters of Cain list that I still don't think is particularly great, but
Agreed.
he did go 3-0 with it yesterday.
He did go 3-0 with it yesterday.
Maybe he's going to prove us all wrong. But he's running the, Canary Life Taker list. And going into this matchup, playing against the Seraphon, I think this is the Welsh team think this is a good matchup for Alex. I think it's a decent matchup for Darren, to be honest, because he's able to deal with the threats that Alex is going to pose. And let's be honest, those Canary Life Takers they cannot take a punch.
No, they cannot. This is going to be a very, very interesting match. So there we go. That's Darren. That's Alex. Both in their team shirts for the day. Very keen to get this match underway. We'll talk about the list in a moment, but I think I think if we're being serious, all 4 of these games come down to personalities. I think the skill sets on show here, I think these matches aren't as decided as maybe some other matches might happen. This is going to be Seraphon versus Daughters of Cain. I'm very excited for this match. I think this is a skill set match, and I'm excited to see how this... we know Alex Alex pulled out a win yesterday with that priority roll, so maybe those 3-0s not as exciting as they make out. But I got a lot of love for Alex, so I'm excited to see him play. Table 2... like 2 legends. This is probably going to be the most relaxed game of the 8 games happening between England and Wales. This is JP Stevens from Just Play and Greg. Now, Greg's a treasure. Greg, again, playing very solid Warhammer, constantly 4-1ing with a lot of events.
Yep.
And in my opinion, he has the very best version of a Castelli Dynasty Soulblight Gravelords
Yeah,
list.
definitely.
Versus JP. JP's been playing loads of different lists as time goes on. We'll try and get that table leveled out for you guys at some point. Yeah, JP versus Greg. What do you think of JP as a player?
I think JP's a fantastic Lumineth player. He's one of my favourite Lumineth players to watch. I think the way he plays using those foxes is just incredible. The way he can manoeuvre them around the board and knows what they're doing and where you need to go, in 2 turns' time with them. The way he sets them up, like we saw him move blocking those Gargants yesterday.
Yeah, with the much slower moving Wardens, but he had to move them a couple of turns previous.
Yeah, and I just think JP's one of my favourite players to watch playing Lumineth, and there's a lot of Lumineth players around, and I've seen a lot of Lumineth play, but I think JP plays the most in the most interesting way, and I've not actually seen Greg play before.
Okay.
But I've heard a lot of good things, and I think this is like you said, the best Soulblight Graveyard list. You've got Nagash, Manfred, and the Vengorian Lord, and then you've got 60 zombies.
Yeah.
We saw Andy Hughes play that at the Super Series, and he did really well. It's really good at scoring battle tactics, and I think this is going to be. I actually think this is probably a Greg win.
Yes.
Because Nagash can deal with the foxes, because you just throw 8 mortal wounds at them from range. And they can't really do anything about it, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting. We'll talk about the list in more detail because, again, I think this is going to come down to players, right? I think JP's very confident, Greg's very chill. I think JP definitely has the options to kill Greg's Nagash. We'll talk about the list in detail in a moment. But I think Greg also is Greg's a very understated character.
Yeah.
Like he isn't showy, he isn't brash, but he's consistent, he's methodical, and he's going to be very, very, very like JP's not really going to get into any cracks that Greg's going to give him emotionally on this. And a lot of this is going to come down to emotions. Both these two teams have spent the entire night thinking about this match. This has been the hot match of the weekend.
Yep.
So Wales very keen to unseat the Kings, who are England.
Yep.
England very keen to keep their hands on the
that
prize.
title, yeah.
Of course, and smack these guys down. So there's a lot of pressure on this match. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see some mistakes because of pressure, or maybe not. They'll keep their cool.
Yeah. Maybe I think it's a really interesting match. When we saw the pairings happen, I think Wales were really confident going into the pairings. They thought England may have made a few mistakes in the pairing process. And I think looking at the overall game, I think Wales are in a good position going into this round.
Yeah, agreed. Right, so table 3, we've got Ricky versus Matt. Now, I've been trying to come up with a game name for Matt Goldsborough. We tried that this morning, right?
Yep.
That's one of the things. So if anyone's got a good suggestion for Matt Goldsborough's game name, we've already got Owen Jackson's is The Juice, for example.
Yep.
I'd love to come. But Matt Goldsborough's been on the stream many a time.
He has.
Many a time. He's one of my favourite players to watch. He maybe isn't the most dynamic, but he's the most consistent, and he plays some good plays.
Definitely the most consistent. I don't think I've ever seen him use a different strategy with Lumineth.
No, that's not true. The Helon list is very different to the Teclon list.
Yeah.
That's very different. The Golden Boy. Nice, the Golden Boy.
That smashed it.
That's it. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam Kunis in the chat. So the Golden Boy versus Ricky Me. Now, Ricky hasn't been playing loads of Age of Sigmar, but has played loads of Age of Sigmar in the past. The Golden Wonder. But Ricky's a really lovely bloke, and he's been consistently pushing around a very, very solid host of the Ever Chosen list.
Yeah, definitely. This is a list Laurie had won. This is actually Laurie's list that he's played at several tournaments. He actually went undefeated with this list in competitive games and actually put it away. So he's lent it to Ricky, so we know that this list is competent.
Yeah, and we saw Ricky do really well with it yesterday.
Yeah, played a really good game against Seraphon.
Yeah, maybe the game against Seraphon, his opponent made the mistakes, but the important bit is Ricky capitalized on those mistakes.
Yeah, definitely.
He saw the opportunities and he absolutely took it out. Yeah. But just very, very, very good. This match is going to be very exciting. We'll talk about the battle plans in a minute. But again, Matt's been playing a lot. He's played in the Super Series.
Yep.
Yeah, he plays on stream a lot. We've had quite a lot of players not want to play on stream because of the pressure of the round. So it's been very exciting to see. It's very exciting to see Matt, who I know is very comfortable in this situation. And Ricky was on it yesterday as well. And then round 4. Dan Bradshaw versus Andy Hughes. Again, neither of these two players need much introduction. We've seen Andy play a lot on the tabletop versus Dan. Dan has been playing a variety of different armies leading up to his first England cap. So this is the first time he's played for England. But he's been in the team for 3 years, but because of COVID wasn't able to play. But Dan's been having to push a lot of different armies around at different events, and has been putting the reps in to try and find the army that he was going to play at this event. We saw him take Lumineth to Blood Tithe. We saw him take Gargants to Bobo. So he's been attending events, pushing his miniatures around, seeing which one fits for him, and settled on Deepkin. Did well yesterday with his Deepkin list, where maybe he wasn't given the biggest pressure.
Yeah, I think Dan played fairly well with the Deepkin yesterday. I don't think it helped yesterday. The Daughters of Cain player fed him an army, which he then capitalised on. And we know that those sharks can do a lot of damage. The Leviathan makes the army really survivable, and the Eidolon of the Storm makes it do even more damage with a +1 wound bubble. But he is playing into Andy's Draconian tail list, which is the lots of Salamanders, a Bastillodon, and a Slan. So this is a really interesting matchup. I think the Futhan Deepkin list, I think personally, as a Deepkin player, I think they have the edge in this match. But a lot of people are saying that the Draco's Tail list is probably better. And Andy is a really, really competent player who's going to have played the Deepkin before and will know what to do against them. But saying that, again, the Deepkin have that Forgotten Nightmares ability, which will mean that he can pick and choose where those Salamanders are going to be shooting. Although, in Draco's Tail, wherever the Slan goes, you can drop Salamanders here, Salamanders here, Salamanders here. Wherever you need them, they can go. And there's something that can deal with those Ishlean Guard, because those Ishlean Guard are on a 4-up save ignoring Rend. So they ignore their Rend, but the Salamanders on a 6 to hit do D3 mortal wounds.
So we just... Oh, okay. So this is our first game to kick off. Don't forget, Darren and Alex still deploying this. A lot of this is going to come down to deployment. Table 2, Greg and JP, I'm sure they'll be kicking off soon. Ricky and Matt still doing their deployment. There's going to be a lot of measuring there. Dan and Andy. Andy's given away the first turn. Should we talk about the lists?
Yeah, definitely.
Talk about them in a little bit more detail. This is going to be pretty key in this particular match.
So in Dan Bradshaw's list, he's running a Futhan Enclave Deepkin list. He's got the Eidolon Aspect of the Storm, which is an absolute brilliant buff piece and absolute tank or monster in combat. He's also got the Achillean King, so he's going to be making the Ishlean Guard battle line, which he's got 2 units of 3 Ishlean Guard, which are brilliant because they ignore Rend, and when they charge, they get +1 save characteristic. So if you charge them, you're on a 2-up unrendable save. And he's got 10 Namati Thralls, 2 Alapexes, 2 Alapexes, and 1 Alapex for a total of 5 Alapexes, and then 1 Achillean Leviathan, which has got that 15-inch bubble, that 12-inch bubble of +1 save.
The reverberating drum.
That's the one.
So actually, just in case you guys need a bit of narrative for that, effectively there's a void drum atop the turtle. An elf beats the drum, which creates emanating waves in the Aether Sea that they bring with them, providing an additional save by putting more water around the fish and the eels. I think is the science. I'm not a scientist.
I think that would make a really good Path to Glory mission.
It would. It would. So what do we think? So that's what's in Dan's list. So Dan's got like a lot of different output. He's got the Alapexes, which, as we talked about this a lot yesterday, but if you didn't tune in, the Alapexes have got a really, really solid profile in shooting as well as combat, and they're a gun platform that can also fight. Imagine them kind of like an aggressive catapult, or like a bolt thrower, basically. Is a better way to think of them, or a bolt thrower on a shark. And then he's got the defensive eels and the thralls. And I think what you're seeing Dan do here is zone out, try and create as much space as possible with his Ishlean Guard, which have got that unrendable save. You can still add to their save, but it's unrendable. And he's going to try and create some impressive board space, because Andy has got some pretty good output in his list.
Yeah, so he's got the Slan Star Master, Skink Starseer, Saurus Ashleth Bearer, a Celestant Prime. So we're going to see prime time again.
What do you want me to do it?
Oh, go for it.
It's prime time.
He's got 10 skinks, 5 Saurus Guard, and then he's got 2, 4, 5 Salamander hunting packs, and then a Bastillodon with Solar Engine. And because of the Draco's Tail, all those Salamanders are in the Slan's mind, ready to come down at some point. Now, I'm not entirely sure where the slant is, but
So
Andy,
they're off board, and the slant
Okay.
coalesces them
Yeah.
them on the board. So effectively, it's a deep strike mechanic. Is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we mean when he's in their mind. But like that, they're going to come on board at some point. And that's going to be pretty massive.
Yeah, and I'm curious where the slant actually is, because it might be a valid tactics for Dan just to almost rush the slant, try and use all those shots from the Alapexes and the Leviathan, almost to just try and drop the slant turn 1. Because if that happens, that's just game.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's going to be.
But I'm going to assume Andy's not put him in a position where that's possible.
No, I think that's very unlikely, and I think that's why you're seeing Dan play the way he plays. He's playing very aggressively, and he's moving like his Ishlingard, and he's doing what we call zoning.
Yep.
Yeah. So you guys have seen this a lot, but we'll just do this. You guys will see this a lot, or maybe you don't see this a lot because this is pretty high in play, really. And what he's doing is creating space. So when you do try to drop down outside of 9 inches, okay, so you've got to be 9 away from there. Okay, you've got to be 9 away from there. You can see him measuring, creating it so that that's not going to be in that corner. You have to be 9 away this way, like you have to be 9 away this way, and it really shuts down. So at the minute, it's looking like Andy can really only deploy in this sort of zone in the bottom right-hand corner. And that's what he's doing.
Deepkin are absolutely fantastic at zoning the board because you've got so many MSU units, so little units, that are so fast that you can create this space. And literally, all of this space is completely unusable for Andy to drop into.
The big problem for Dan, though, is as he does start to lose units, and Andy will be able to make him lose units pretty quick with those salamanders. As he does lose units, he doesn't have a lot. He has a lot of units, but that'll fall apart pretty quickly. Like, there's 12 wounds in this unit. There's 12 wounds here. The Alapexes are 16 wounds, but those Alapexes are 250 points.
They are.
Like, it's a very elite army. You're looking at probably like 80, 90 wounds in Dan's army.
Yeah.
It's pretty low, and like those salamanders do not mind at all murdering what they can. So this is going to be a really fun match.
It is 109 wounds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so like about bang on average at the moment in Age of Sigmar. But the salamanders, probably one of the most competent. Right, table 2, we know that's kicked off now. JP versus Greg. So he's... Oh, we haven't gone for the first turn yet, but we have seen the placements and we have seen the Law Seeker.
And
we
he's definitely measuring for that lambent light.
Unfortunately, our camera has been kicked. We are going to try and level that game out at some point, but we don't want to disturb the players.
Exactly.
So we're leaving that for the moment. Well, hopefully we'll get it sorted when we can. But the positioning is pretty key, right? Now, it's important to note that JP is a 1-drop. He gets the choice to go first.
Yep.
He has got, we'll talk about the lists in detail. I can at least tell you the Lumineth one pretty easy. There's 30 Sentinels in a brick here, and behind it is the Lord Regent. Then he's got 10 Wardens, he's got 5 Blade Lords, and then he's got Severith in the corner, and then he has 2 Wind Spirits, as you can see right here. And I think he might also be rocking a Wind Mage, or is no Wind Mage?
I can quickly check for you. But he's also got those Banner Blades as well, isn't he? So those sword dudes that do the auto hits. He has got a Law Seeker. So Lord Regent, Law Seeker, Severith, Blade Lords, 10 Wardens, 30 Sentinels.
The Law Seeker, the Law Seeker's very, very cool, right? Law Seeker's got a special ability called Lone Agent. So you can set up outside your deployment zone and on the objectives during deployment. So you don't have to deploy them in your own. It has to be outside your deployment zone and 3 inches away from the enemy. And that's really key because of this right here in this top right-hand corner. He's a wizard.
He is a wizard.
And that wizard ability allows him to cast Lambent Light.
Yep.
Yeah, which is a reroll casts. Reroll to hit spell.
Yeah, so you put it on an enemy unit, and everything that shoots them can reroll their hits, which is absolutely is so effective on these Sentinels because, like we saw yesterday in his game against the Gargants, you throw 30 shots at something, and you've already got Paraphysia on them, so they're 5s do mortal wounds, and you take out all the things that aren't 5s, and you do. Roll them again to try and get even more 5s and 6s.
Yeah,
and we saw him do 19 mortal
wounds yesterday in one shooting phase. With 17 mortal wounds. Now, JP's taken the first turn.
He has.
And I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the attempt here. Now, he says, I'm going to get off Lambent Light, but it's easier said than done when you've got Nagash on the board.
Yeah.
So for Greg's list...
Yeah, he's got Nagash, Manfred, he's got the Vengorian Lord, who's the general with the command trait Swift and Deadly, and he's got the Gravesand Shard, which is that extra DPR save, so the +1 DPR save once a game.
Yeah, so which is actually, I think, going to come in really important here.
Yeah, so he's got that, and then he's got 3 times 20 Deadwalker zombies for a total of 16 zombies. And we've seen JP's got the first turn.
Yep.
He's gone for Savage Spearhead, and Greg has straight away said, I'm going to do Finest Hour on Nagash.
Yeah, 100%.
For that +1 save on him. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see JP target Manfred here, because I think he's deployed his Law Seeker just off board, because we can't quite see it, in that 18 inches here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see, actually, the Law Seeker try and get Lambent Light here, and the Sentinel try and pop him.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, the way that this list, or Greg's list, works so well is that Nagash, the Vengori Lord, and Manfred fly around together.
Yep.
The Vengori Lord's got a -1 to wound bubble, which is great for combat.
Yep.
But it's only within 9 inches, which Sentinel's a 36-inch effective
Yep.
range. And then he's also got, like you say, the Grave Shard Sand. So, So this is sand that's been collected in the realm of death. Yeah? It's full of necromantic energy. Yeah.
There's a lot of sand on this table, because I've also heard that Severith and the Wind Spirits have a special ability for going so fast.
Listen, Age of Sigmar is Age of Sand is what they should really call it, or Sand is very powerful. I don't know how it works in the Mortal Realms.
Sand is amazing.
Sand is amazing, but it's a special sort of sand, basically, from the graves. And what he does is he throws it out in the air.
Yep.
It covers the air with this necromantic energy, and for once per battle, and it gives everyone a 5-up ward in a bubble around him, which we've just heard has been activated, which is what I expected. I think JP has taken the turn, knowing this is the situation.
I think he's taken the turn to almost just bait out the Finest Hour, get it out straight away, bait out this sand, and then next turn, he's going to be really happy just to go, right, now I can deal with Nagash, which is why I don't think you target Nagash this turn. I think you go, Sentinels, right, I'll take this character, or you take the Vengorian Lord. You don't even worry about Nagash this turn.
Yeah, I think, and don't forget, there's also a lot of other output as well coming from this list. We should talk about this right now because it's so important. We saw it do huge amounts of damage yesterday. Severith, who's on that top left-hand side, has got Inthari, the Howling Death. That's his missile weapon attack. It's 4 shots, hits on 2s, wounds on 3s, rend 3, which is why we've seen Finest Hour, because we haven't yet had Greg use the ability, the command ability coming from Nagash, which gives you reroll 1s, and Nagash has got 3-up armor save,
he does.
so he's going to bang a Mystic Shield on himself. So he's going to be happy in the next turn to have a 2-up save, or even a 2-up save and all-out defense. So 2-up save, all-out defense, and reroll 1s.
Yep.
So that Rend 3 is still going to hurt, but it's going to be more likely he's going to save it. Or against the Wind Spirits is going to be a much more effective. Oh, sorry, that's Severith. The Wind Spirits, because they've got 4 attacks, but that's Rend 2.
Yeah, only Rend 2.
Yeah, so after the first turn, Nagash can pretty much ignore the Wind Spirit shooting, which is okay. But he can never ignore is the shooting that comes in from the Sentinels. Okay. We just heard the first huge thing that's just happened this turn, Lambent Light. So when you try and cast a spell, and the Law Seeker, who's a wizard, has tried to cast a spell, your opponent's got the ability to try and shut it down. Nagash has got +4 to stop that.
Wow.
So he rolls 2d6 and adds 4 to it, and he just shut Lambent Light down.
Yeah, that's going to be big. But it looks like JP's just cast the Rune of Petrification. And the Rune of Petrification is actually something you don't see very often. But it's essentially a spell that you drop down, and it's going to do a lot of Mortal Wounds AoE. So if I just get up the War Scroll for it, because it's actually a really interesting spell that you don't see very often. So you've got the ability Turn to Stone. At the start of the movement phase and at the end of the movement phase, so twice in the movement phase, roll a dice for each unit that is within 6 inches of the spell. On a 4+, they take D3 Mortal Wounds. In addition, keyword,
love a Lumineth book.
Subtract 1 from run rolls and charge rolls for units within 6 inches of this end of the spell. So it's just a really nice ability to try and get some D3 Mortal Wounds going, but you pop it activates twice. So you go start of the movement phase, you can do D3 Mortal Wounds. End of the movement phase, D3 Mortal Wounds. Sentinels in the shooting phase,
19 mortal wounds.
10, 12 mortal wounds.
10 on average without Lambent Light.
You've then got the Wind Spirit can pop over D3 mortal wounds. So it just adds to that chip mortal wound damage, which then doesn't become chip mortal wound damage anymore. It just becomes output.
Yeah, it's genuine. It's brilliant. It's really, really good. So excited to see how this match plays out. Excited to hear what happens in the shooting phase. We'll see if Table 1 have finished their deployment yet. No. Get ready for a cagey match. Yeah, I think Alex also being smart. Darren likes to play very fast, by the way.
Yep.
It's another key point about him as a player. He's one of my very good friends, so when I talk about him in detail like this, it feels a bit unfair because I know him very well. But he plays fast and he plays very aggressively.
Yeah.
Alex might know this. Alex might know this, and Alex might be slowing them down.
I think Alex is just. I think just his army has got to be really, really precise with how he does this, because Darren's got those salamanders in the sky.
Yes.
Right, sorry, he hasn't got them in the sky, but he's got those salamanders that can just teleport here, kill this, teleport here, do this. And also, it looks like Alex is going to put a lot of those Canary Life Takers in the sky.
Yep.
So they're not actually going to be dropping down. They're going to be dropping down later on. You've got the 15 bow snakes back here, which can do a lot of damage, but it looks like Darren has chilled over here. So they are playing. So this mission is Feral Foray. Now, Feral Foray is a bird mission, so you've got 3 objectives in each deployment zone. It's a score 1, score 2, score more mission. However, if you are within 1 inch of your enemy's objective and you control it, you can burn it and score an additional victory point. But the key factor of this mission is it is a hold 1, hold 2, hold more, and there's 6 objectives on it. And because you've both got 3 in your territory, it's really hard to get that hold more in this mission.
Yeah, so we've just seen the handshake there. We're going to find out who's taken the first turn. By the way, this is between England. So Darren is obviously representing England. Alex is representing Wales.
Wales. And it
Alex
looks like Alex is just given the first turn to Darren.
Alex is just given the first turn away to Darren. And okay, sorry. Darren is giving the first turn to Alex. Thanks, Table Boss. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think this is the best move because Darren's not danger close at the moment, right? No. So he's very safe because these Bloodstalkers, they've got no teleport ability and they're only 24-inch range, but they do have that 8-inch move. So they're probably going to be able to hit up to here, right? I don't think Darren's going to be able to put any of this in range of those bow snakes turn 1.
Well, let's talk about how unique these lists are because actually they're pretty unique. So there are 6 Seraphon players between the 6 teams, and there are also 5 Daughters of Cain players between all of the teams. And actually, Alex's is one of the 2 unique Daughters of Cain lists. There's one that's got no Marathi, it's just got more bow snakes. This is one that's got the bow snakes, which we talk about a lot, but it's only 1 unit of 10. Normally you see 15 because the command ability from Marathi allows them to shoot in the hero phase.
It does.
And shoot in the shooting phase. So that's quite key. But then where this list kind of kilters off, so he's basically lost some efficiency by not having 5. But what he has, by an additional 5. What he has gained...
Yeah, so Alex
gains run and charge.
Yeah, so he's got Keltnar, right? So Keltnar gives the whole army run and charge. He also gives him the ability to summon a unit of 5 Canary Life Takers or Heart Renders at any point in the game. He's got the Blood Map Reducer, which has that command trait to be able to do that. He's got Marathi, 10 Bloodstalkers, but he's still got 5 Bloodstalkers.
So 20 in total.
20 Bloodstalkers total. And then 6 units of Canary Life Takers. Now, Canary Life Takers are fairly interesting because they can deploy off-board and they can come on any time before turn 4.
Yep.
Anywhere on the board. But Life Takers, they hit fairly well because when they charge, they get an extra damage and an extra rend.
Yep.
So we rend 1, 2 damage. But they die to a stiff breeze. They're 1 wound each and they've got a 6-up save.
Yeah. So, as you can see, I just think we just saw a miscast. Oh, no.
I think we heard a miscast.
What did we just hear? Let's find out in a moment from our table boss. But we're in the hero phase now. So Darren's given the turn away right now to Alex. And how's Alex going to unpack this army against Darren's list? Because Darren is also talking about unique lists.
Yep.
He's running Fangs of Sotek.
Yeah.
Now, everyone else is either running Thunder Lizard or Draco's Tail.
Yeah, Darren's going for the old school build.
Old school Fangs of Sotek.
So he's got the Fangs of Sotek. He's got a Slan Star Master, obviously. Skink Priest, Skink Star Priest, Saurus Ashlift Bearer, and a Celestant Prime.
A Celestant Prime.
So we've got another Celestant Prime. He's got Battle Line. He's got 30 Skinks, which we used to see a lot in AOS 2. We've got 10 Skinks, 5 Saurus Guard, 2 Salamanders, 1 Salamanders, and he's also got the Burning Head for that reroll 1s, right? But the interesting about this, because it's not Draco's Tail, you can't put the Salamanders in the mind, so you can't throw all of them down on the board, right? So you can see the Salamanders deployed here, but because he's Starborn, you can teleport them anywhere on the board and then shoot 12 inches with their range. Is 12 inches or 16 inches the Salamanders?
16 inches.
16 inches of their flaming attack, and it's a really, really good profile. So it's like 4 attacks, 3s, rend 2, D3 damage, and then any 6 to hit is mortal wounds, or D3 mortal wounds. But I think
He's also going to have run and shoot from the skink.
He is.
Like run and shoot from the skink is going to be super important as well. So he has got some really solid range, and you are going to see him play very aggressively forward. But it's going to be those terrain pieces that are going to come in so key because of the Realm Shaper engine. The Realm Shaper engine is going to choose a piece of terrain that's going to explode and do mortal wounds. Pretty certain he's going to choose this piece over here if it's in range. It might not be in range because there is a range limit on it. Sorry, do you talk salamanders or skinks? You're asking about shooting.
Sorry.
Were you asking about skinks or salamanders shooting?
Salamanders.
Well, salamanders is 12. Skinks
yeah.
is 16.
Yeah.
In fact, let's look at why salamanders are so good, shall we? Right there, 12-inch range, 4 attacks, 3s and 3s, Ren 2, D3 damage. But they do have it burns.
It burns.
It burns because they shoot streaming hot fire out of their mouth.
Yep.
And basically, if you roll a 6, it punches through and it burns your skin. Or
whatever you've got.
Or whatever you're rocking in the Mortal Realms.
Sand.
Right, so the Realm Shaper is table wide. So he's going to be able to basically pop mortal wounds out of here.
Yeah, it also means that Marathi's got to be really, really careful, because it's actually a really big deal for Marathi, because it means she can't go here, she can't go here, and she can't go, for example, here. Because if you drop that mortal wound thing on Marathi, you can do D3 mortal wounds to her without actually doing anything.
And what's good is the Prime doubles that up.
Yeah.
So the Prime, I've talked about this a lot on Honest Wargaming shows, but the Prime's also able to pop that, so you could also do additional mortal wounds in AoE from the Prime, and then follow that up. The Slan has got a great War Scroll spell, not Rain of Stars, I always say that, Comet's Call.
Comet's Call.
Comet's Call.
So Comet's Call is a really impressive spell, right? 'Cause it's a border-wise spell. You pick D3 units, but if you cast it on a high thing, I think you can take D6 units, and every 3+ you do D3 mortal wounds.
Yes,
units.
and because of Masters of Order, you get +1 to cast already.
Nice.
Yeah? You pick a constellation for an additional +1 to cast, and then you also add you can also get +1 from the Astral Banner Bearer.
He's got the command trait Arcane Might. So in one cast or unbind, he can reroll. So he's got those pluses, and he's got a reroll.
Yeah. So I think is that the end of his turn, because we've seen Darren move. So
I think this might
be a redeploy. We'll find out if this is a redeploy right now from our table.
Unless Alex has just played super defensively, but I don't see that.
I don't see what he gains from that.
Yeah, because
it is a redeploy. It is a redeploy we're seeing. So Darren is pushing up that skink line.
Big redeploy as well. He's pushing it back by the looks of it.
Is it backwards?
Making sure that those Canary just can't hit him. Because actually, why wouldn't you just make this charge longer?
Yeah. He gains nothing from letting them hit. And
let's be honest, Darren's not going to be short of CP in this game.
No. Slan, again, the Slan's able to generate extra CP. He rolls 2 dice, and on a 4-up, gains the CP for that. He's also going second. That's an additional 2 CP. He's also got his general on the board, so he's just generating command points for ages, and that'll be identified. Just to double check, just to let you know what's happened in this particular match between JP and Greg. JP has cast the rune
of
here.
Petrification.
Yeah, and he's done D3 mortal wounds, and he's done 2 wounds to the Vengori Lord, and he's also done 2 wounds to the Mortarch as well.
Nice.
So Manfred's
Good
also
effort.
taken 2 as well. Sorry, 4 wounds to the Vengorian Lord.
See, this is really big, because actually it's surprising how much the Vengorian Lord does for this list. Because of his artifact, I know it's already been used, but because of he's a monster, it means that the battle tactics in this army are really easy to complete. If you start whittling down the Vengorian Lord, it's really good, especially because it gets rid of that AoE or that 9-inch bubble of -1 to wound. So if JP can just absolutely nuke either one of the characters or the other character, he's going to be in a really good position to carry on. And those foxes, even though they're right here now, in the shooting phase, they're going over here, and then in Greg's shooting phase, they can be back here quite easily.
So we've just heard the Sentinels have shot. What massive news this is! Targeted, just like you said, Adam, 10 mortal wounds.
Wow! So they've done, they've gone into the Vengorian Lord, done 10 mortal wounds. So this is going to be really down to Greg. We're going to see him roll those 5-up DPR saves to try and keep that Vengorian Lord alive. But it looks like Manfred's gone. Sorry. So Manfred is off the board. Turn 1. Wow! That was a fox. So the Sentinel shot shot Manfred, did 10 mortal wounds to him, and then the Fox shot into Manfred and took him off the board. This is
huge,
massive.
JP bringing it home for England. JP over the moon. I think I seen him do a tiny dance.
When you play a list like Greg's and it's got 3 power pieces, to take 1 off in turn 1 is huge, especially when he's used that artifact for that 5-up DPR.
Yeah, and it's been for nothing. And what's most exciting or like horrifying for people at home is that JP's lost nothing. This isn't a trading game.
No.
He's not points down for this. He hasn't had to
He's
lose
just sitting there having a lovely time.
Yeah, he's just like, I can do this again next game, next turn. Get ready.
Yeah.
Like, so you really have to bring. Now, there is 1,000 points in the Gash to engage. Right, so other updates coming from the tables. Massive. So Matt is still unpacking his army. He's in his first turn.
Okay.
Yeah. He's doing all of his movement. We're still waiting. Ricky, as you can see, so he's deployed his 20 Sentinels here. Sorry, 20 Wardens. His 30 Sentinels here. Teclis at the back of the board. He's going to have the Calathar in the Loon Shrine. We've got Ricky at the bottom. He's got Archeon, Slaves to Darkness, don't forget.
Yep.
His 30 Marauders. He's got his War Shrine. He's got his
3
Varangard. Well, 2 Varangard now, because we've already started to lose one to the shooting that comes in here. So pretty key, but that's not as big as what's happened on table 4. As much as JP's bringing it home for England, Andy is bringing it home for Wales. Turn 1, as we know, we saw Dan unpack his army quite nicely.
Yep.
Try to screen out and zone as much as possible. We saw Andy bring down the Salamanders, start shooting in at the top. We've also seen the Poseidon here, but you never want to hear these words said together. Seraphon double turn.
No.
Priority into turn 2. Andy has got himself the priority, and he is unloading again. And as you can see, we've already lost some of these Ishling Guard that he's trading off with, which means these Alapexes at the back of the board, Leviathan the King.
See, saying this, actually, I don't think the double turn's too bad here at all.
I think it is because
Dan's in a really nice position. Well, I mean, what can actually Andy do? He's going to kill 2 Ishling Guard. 2 Ishling Guard. He still can't touch any of the actual power in Dan's army.
He can't, but Dan has to now bring his power forward. And yeah, the Alapexes are fantastic.
He's going into it going, I'm on the chance for a double now.
Okay.
And going into turn 3.
All right, so you think he's in a comfortable position here?
I'm not saying comfortable.
Okay.
I just don't think it's a dire. Like, you know when you normally hear Seraphon double, it's like, yeah, this is amazing. You know, you got to die. Actually, in this position, it's just, okay, you've got a double. I've still got this.
All right, okay, interesting, because we haven't seen everything landed, of course. We've got 2 Salamanders.
But
and
the reason I say this is because those 2 Ishling and these 2 Ishling are here, it's still zoning out quite a lot of the board.
Okay, all right, so you feel very comfortable with this?
Again, not comfortable.
Okay, not comfortable, but
like,
not stressed.
Not game breaking. This is over.
Yeah.
You know, and I still think just because of this powerhouse here, there's only so much Andy can do.
Yeah, yeah, okay. No, I agree. Because of the great zoning by Dan turn 1.
Yeah, genuinely.
Yeah.
And again, because those Ishling survived, it does look like the Prime is coming down though, and he's going to try and do a lot of damage into it. Because the Thralls died here, it means that this section of the board is now not zoned off. So it does mean that Andy can hit into Dan's power. But he can't really touch the Eidolon because he's got the Cloud of Midnight, right? So basically, Andy's got to choose, right, how many sharks can I take out? Realistically, 3.
Yeah.
Because of the Cloud, not the Cloud of Midnight, because of the Forgotten Nightmares ability, where you can only target the closest thing, right?
Yeah. We don't know. I'm pretty certain Cloud of Midnight hasn't been activated. We'll get an update in a moment.
There's no way it's been activated.
No, I don't think it's been activated. The only thing I could think is the Bastiladon took a pot shot to try and make it.
We wouldn't have been able to because he has to shoot here.
Oh yeah, of course.
But also, I think it's interesting because this is this mission they're playing is Survival of the Fittest, the same mission that Matt Goldsborough is playing as well. So Survival of the Fittest is 3 objectives in the middle. It's a hold 1, hold 2, hold more mission, but it's the top of the food chain mission. So 3 of these units are going to be Predator units. If you kill a Predator unit with a Predator unit, then you get an extra victory point.
Yeah, it's gonna be fairly key because actually Dan's only rocking the 1 monster for his list. So Monstrous Takeover is something which is a fairly so like it's so that monster from Monstrous Takeover for an easy battle tactic. Yeah, for an easy battle tactic, it needs to happen around here or here, which does mean maybe he'll have to bring the Leviathan in. Similarly, that's why I think we're seeing the Bastiladon placed pretty close to the objective because it's Andy's only monster as well.
Yeah.
So he's going to be trying to do that. Not forgetting that the way you score here, if you win, you get a 15-5. Don't forget there are 8 players playing per team.
There are.
And you get points for your team, and that enters into a pool, and that pool of points equal like what your team score for the round. It gets capped at 100 points. So if all of your team get 20 points, like that would be So basically, if you win 20-0, you get 160, but you're only allowed to take 100 through into the next round. Both England and Wales have currently capped all 3 previous rounds, so this is a big matchup, and this is the way you win. If you win 15-5, but it's a very close victory, a close margin of victory, it's a 15-5. But what teams are going to want, or what they're going to want from their winning games, is they're going to want this. They're going to want victories that are also absolute whitewashes.
Yep.
And that's super important. That's super important for them.
Yeah, definitely. But it's hard to get that 20-0 because in this game or in this tournament, it's a 4-point jump every time.
It is.
So to get an extra point, it's a 4-point jump. So it's quite difficult. We haven't seen a lot of 20-0s.
No, we have not. Right, let's just cycle back through our games and just see what's happened here. As you can see, we're still seeing the unpacking. This is we're seeing Marathi has moved forward here from Alex, and we might be into the shooting phase. It looks like we might be. Or we're just going to find. We'll find out what we're going to see being shot at from Alex here. I don't imagine it's much other than these skinks at the bottom. Because there's not much else in range, right? He's moved his He's moved his life takers forward. He's moved these forward, looking to trade. Right? We saw the opposite of this yesterday. We saw him trade with Marathi early.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen that this time. What I mean by trading is he's just putting on 5 units of something, like a unit of 5 that he doesn't mind dying, another unit of 5 that he doesn't mind dying. And what he's really saying to Darren is like, hey, you need to bring stuff out. You need to make it so that I can bring my power pieces. That's these 2, and I can hit at your power pieces.
Yep.
Darren's like, okay, I've got my 30 skinks. They're going to come for you at some point. I've got my salamanders. They're going to come for you at some point. He will be able to teleport those units as well. So that's going to be really important.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a fairly interesting way that Alex has played because it looks like those Canara are charging in, right? They're going to be trying to go for those 10 skinks there.
Oh, he's
Take
in.
that objective. They can kill 10 skinks, right? But they can. The thing is, they can kill 10 skinks, right? And they're just measuring because there's a salamander here who's like, yeah, do you want to charge there?
Yeah,
I'm gonna unleash hell you. This is.
So there's a salamander in here.
Yep.
And there's also a salamander, I think, in this piece of terrain here.
Yeah, I think this is interesting because even if this salamander can't unleash hell, right? I think these skinks can actually kill 2 from unleash hell on their own. Because again, those Canari they've only got a 6-up save. But so they redeployed, didn't they? So can't unleash hell.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
Yeah.
And just let you know where the salamanders are. There's 1 in this piece of terrain, and there's 2 inside the realm shaper. That's where they are. So like they're going to be able to hit out again. I think maybe just posing some threats, saying, hey, by the way, like your salamander output or some of your output should go here. Like it's not a massive threat to the slan. But, you know, you're going to have to just make sure you dedicate some output here while Marathi maybe bears down on you.
Well, this is why I think Darren's in a fairly strong position, because the slan that's in the Realm Shaper has got the AoE mortal wounds. So we can do, like, have the mortal wounds here, have the mortal wounds here, have the mortal wounds here. And if you get that big 6, like, on the D6 units, right, you can go, right, I'll do mortal wounds here, do mortal wounds here, mortal wounds here, mortal wounds here, mortal wounds here, and some mortal wounds on Marathi, right? And actually, by doing that many mortal wounds to the Canary Life Takers, you force them to take bravery checks.
Yeah.
So it's because it's just they're only 1 wound.
Yes.
That's my issue with them. They're 1 wound on a 6-up save.
Yeah.
So you can, bravery check them fairly easily.
Yeah. I agree with that. That makes sense. So just to get you some updates on table 2 and how Greg's done. Don't forget he lost Manfred turn 1 to the Foxes.
And he's not going to be happy about that because of his battle tactic that he chose, which I'm sure Greg does every single game, which is Ferocious Advance, right? So you run 3 units. If all 3 of them are monsters, you score an additional point. But unfortunately for Greg, he's only got 2 monsters now.
He's only got 2 monsters, yeah. So that's pretty key because JP's basically already denied him a victory point, which is pretty killer. And as you can see, these Foxes, which previously were here, have all bounded away at the end of the shooting phase to make sure, most importantly, because actually JP's got the opportunity to do some pretty good long-range shooting as well from Nagash. He can summon up 8 arcane bolts if he wants to. He can unleash them at any point and then just unload them into the Foxes, but he hasn't done that.
But the list that Greg is using is the battle tactics the most important for that list. Every time I've seen it play, they don't actually win on the primary. They win on just scoring loads of battle tactics. So to deny him that 1 point from that battle tactic could actually be game winning.
Yeah, so table 4, just talking about what Andy has done in his second turn. This is pretty, pretty key. The Prime has come down, and we have had the Cloud of Midnight activated from Dan, which means you can't target with any shooting in that phase.
Yep.
Any
so that Eidolon is completely safe now.
Yeah, completely safe. So then he pivoted. With his salamanders, and he shot into the Leviathan. The Leviathan is technically on a 1-up save currently.
He is.
He's on a 1-up save, so he's as safe as it's possible to be. However, salamanders, don't forget, do mortal wounds on 6s to hit.
They do.
And has done 13 wounds.
What?
13 wounds from 2 salamanders to a 1-up save Leviathan.
That's
big.
Yeah.
That's really big, especially as we've seen the Prime also emerge down, and the Prime has got some options for where he's going to charge. We've seen the 1 solo Salamander also move up to try and take out the Ishlin. That Leviathan, being so wounded, is going to bracket it and make sure make its damage not as good, and is really starting to affect a power piece. It's also dangerous for an Unleash Hell now as well.
Yeah.
So he won't be able to tank for an Unleash Hell. So these two Alapexes, that's 500 points each. Well, not 500 points each, that's 500 points between them. That's a lot of points.
It is.
So they have to do a lot of work here into this central threat, into this unit of Salamanders. But that Salamander unit is 240 points.
It is, yeah.
It's not all of the army. So there's a lot here. So Dan's got a lot of work to do, but he has got the double coming up.
He does. So I think Dan's in his second turn, right? Or will go into his second turn where he runs and charges the entire army. As well as that, I reckon if you're Dan, you play for the double here. You go, right, I'm going all in, play for the double, go for that turn 3 when your whole army strikes first. You literally just send all of this output into here, right? You send the 2 Ishlane Guard, if they survive, into the Salamanders to soak up that Unleash Hell. You then send all of this just straight forward, try and do as much damage as you can, and then you play for that double, turn 3, right, this is gone, now let's deal with this. And I think if you play for the double, Dan will be in a good shout. If he doesn't take that risk, I think he's going to be really dangerous. It's going to be really dangerous for him.
Yeah, it really is. It's very, very tough. Talking about tough situations, Ricky, having lost one of his Varangard, turn 1, to this Sentinel shooting that came in from Matt Goldsborough.
Yep.
Which is pretty impressive. We have then seen him rally a Varangard back. 1 dice, rolled a 6. In the hero phase, or at the start of the hero phase, you can choose to rally. It's a command ability. As long as you're not engaged in combat, roll a dice for each model that's been slain. 1 dice, 1 CP, and he has rolled the 6. He's brought it back. Some other pieces of news. I'm going to make sure this is absolutely right because I want to make sure I get the information right on table 1. Did I hear that 2 salamanders died? Can I just double check that with the table boss here from the shooting that was available here? I just want to double check and make sure that that's correct.
Because I'm sure we heard they rallied back.
Because I'm pretty certain I heard that they won. We rallied 1 back.
So 1 salamander died, and then he's rolled all those dice and rallied a salamander back.
Yeah.
Because the funny thing about salamanders and rally is a really funny interaction.
Yeah.
Because there's 6 skink handlers with them.
Yes.
They count as slain for the purposes of rally. And if there's a salamander died, you can then roll 7 dice. Any 6, you can bring a salamander back.
You will bring the salamander back. So all of this shooting that was done here into this unit has been a bit redundant. And Darren rolling the 6. Very happy with that. He's showing that Team England dice better than Team Wales dice, and he's brought that salamander back. So that's going to be really key because, again, he lost 2 salamanders and rallied both of them, right?
Nice.
But that kind of statistically makes sense, right? Because what he's done is he's shot. So he shot from those, but then he's been able to use this redundant pool of CP that we talked about already to make them immune to battle shock and then rally them in the next turn.
That's so funny.
So lost 2 salamanders, got 2 salamanders back.
That's genius.
Yeah, so that's
hilarious.
So table 4. It's prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. The Prime has gone in. He's made his big long charge. He's killed the turtle, and he has made it. I mean, that's pretty huge for Dan. Losing his monster means he's lost access to monstrous takeover. Means he's also lost, which is a battle tactic, and he's also lost access to just a lot of output and defense as well in his army.
Definitely.
So he's lost some key pieces there. Also gains Andy an additional victory point because
Yep.
he's slain a monster this round. So that's pretty key. And also put the Prime in threat range. So the Alapexes, the Achillean, the
Eidolon of the Storm.
Eidolon of the Storm, the Achillean King, and the other Alapexes all have to come and kind of deal with the Prime, which means they're not dealing with the Salamanders, not dealing with the other, and not dealing with the Bastillodon. So he's still got the Ishlin as well, and he's got the double coming up.
Yep.
And leading into High Tide, which is where the board is the most moist.
See, if I was down here, right, I'm not letting you finish that point. If I was down here, I'd finest hour my Eidolon.
Yeah.
Right. I'd shoot. I wouldn't actually know. So you finest hour your Eidolon, right?
Yep.
You send him into the
Prime.
Celestin Prime. All of this ignores the Prime, right? And just goes straight down here or straight down here because you'll run and charge this turn or run and shoot. Okay. The Eidolon goes in. I can do a lot to the Prime, but because you've used finest hour, you start on a 2+ save. And if he doesn't quite kill him, you're going to be on a 1-up, ignoring Rend 1. So he'll be then put back on a 3-up save, because the Prime's Rend 3. And the Prime won't kill the the Eidolon then. So you can do a lot, tie him up with the Eidolon, and then say, okay, I've got this. And then, because the Eidolon's retreat and charge anyway, in turn 3, he can then bounce back down and start dealing with that if he does get the double turn.
Yes, but he is going to face an Unleashed Hell from the Salamanders. He's not going to be able to avoid that, which is something to talk about. So I'll put the Ishlin in first. Okay, yeah. So bring that in. I mean, what I'm saying is Dan's got to do a lot.
Yeah,
and
100%.
that priority role is pretty pivotal.
But turn 3 does a lot for Deepkin, right?
Yes, true.
So
not what it once did, but Dan's making some other choices here. Like
I think this is the exact right play.
So he's bringing the Alapex and the Achillean King down.
Yep.
He's threatening this solo Salamander, which, to be fair, the Alapexes should deal with it. They've got the Razor Shell harpoons as well, so that's going to be pretty important. So, okay, so table 3, we've got the priority roll has just gone into turn 2. We've already talked about Matt hasn't unpacked his army particularly much, as you can see, and he's not going to. He's very unlikely to unpack it, particularly, especially with Archeon on the board as the big major threat. 20 wounds, 3-up save, but importantly, it's Host of the Everchosen, so he knows. He spends the CP. He knows if he's going to have the next turn or not.
He does,
and he did know that. So he has actually played knowing he's got the double turn.
Yeah.
So he's played this way. So he's going to be taking some big moves now and try and push onto objectives. Unfortunately, though, Total Eclipse has been cast by Teclis.
Okay.
Which is a spell which doubles how much you have to spend to use command abilities.
Okay.
And because of that, he's had to spend 2 CP on that. So CP's in pretty short supply for this list.
Yeah, definitely, because Total Eclipse is really powerful, especially to a list that wants their CPs. And I think I don't think Ricky's going to be particularly happy he's got a double here, because there's not a lot that he can really do with it. Like, he can kill the shark, maybe get this into there, but then you're going to get Unleashed Hell. So I think Ricky's in an awkward position. But if I was Ricky, I'd literally just zone the board out and say, you're sat in a castle, what are you going to do?
Yep.
Well,
as you can see, Matt has also traded. He's got an allied in Alapex that he's traded off onto this objective. Yeah. We've got the Iron Golems facing up against them. The Marauders can also go in. And that provides some nice key kind of utility for his army, because he's got the Rosterius net launcher, which if he hits with it means you can't pile in, which can be pretty important. And the other reason that the other reason that we see this castle build is because of a lady who needs no introduction, but I'll give her one anyway. The Cathlar. She's got an artifact called, she's got an ability called Goading Arrogance.
Yep.
Goading Arrogance, which, do you want to talk to us about that?
Yeah, so Goading Arrogance is essentially, it's a command trait that you get from Sire. It's on the Wind Mage.
Oh,
on
okay,
the Cathlar.
apologies.
But if you're within 6 inches of them, you must target that character. If you're another character, so if you're a character, you have to target that Goading Arrogance character if you're within 6 of them. Now, it means that this Shrine of Luminar that's got the Wind Mage in this is 6 inches, right? So if Archeon goes here, he cannot swing because he's not in range of the Goading Arrogance character, but he must target him.
Amazing breakdown
brilliant.
But let me tell you about something that is unbelievable.
Okay.
After a pretty aggressive first turn by JP, where he killed Manfred, murdered him, and then did a bunch. did a bunch of damage to the Vengori Lord. We're about to see an Unleash Hell. Nagash from Greg. Greg making some absolutely insane plays. Greg has run forward with 5 arcane bolts loaded up. He's run forward with 5 arcane bolts, and he has rolled an 11-inch charge. But Adam, that wasn't good enough. He needed a 12-inch charge.
Okay.
So he command point re-rolled it. He rolled a 12. Greg has attacked and made a 12-inch charge, and he's done it. He's done it, and
JP
he's in.
is going to be seething. But
Unbelievable.
But on the other hand, there is going to be an unleashed hell from these Sentinels.
There is. Into Nagash, though, who's on a 2-up save. He's got a 4-up ward against mortal wounds. The coach for Wales is ecstatic about Greg's play because Greg was probably losing.
Yeah, definitely. And Greg's gone for what I always say, go for those risky plays, right? Go for the risky plays, big rewards, and this is going to be a big reward.
This is a massive reward because we have the priority roll coming up as well.
Yeah.
We have the priority roll coming up.
I am a little bit worried about this Unleash Hell because he has got Power of High Shot, right?
He has got
five mortal wounds,
but he hasn't got the re-rolls on it.
No, it's going to be 10 mortal wounds. Yeah,
and then Nagash is going to bin off 4 of them because he's got the 4-up mortal wound save.
Yeah, so he's going to be doing 5 or 6 mortal wounds.
Yeah, it's
which
not
is
bad.
still like dropped Nagash down to 14 wounds in your own turn.
It's true.
Okay.
It's true, but I got to say what I think's pretty key here because he's into this is Severith he's into, not the Wind Spirit. Yeah, is he's got those 5 arcane bolts.
Oh, I've just seen what. So the Nagash, right?
Yeah, you've got it.
Piles in here, uses all those arcane bolts stored up to do that on them and do 5d3 mortal wounds to the Sentinels.
Or do 5. I mean, you could do them to the Sentinels because they don't have a ward. That's probably a better call.
Yeah, so you do the mortal wounds there, and then you just hit Severith.
Yeah, or either or.
Yeah.
But Severith's going to make it so he can't pile in, right? Or is that only if Severith charges? I think it's only if Severith charges.
Oh, yeah, fair one. No, you can't pile in around Severith, can you? No, your piling's reduced to 1. So that move might not actually be possible. But, he's still going to kill... you're still going to kill the Severith here.
So he took 3 mortal wounds from the Unleash Hell from the Sentinels. And then he bounced back 2 mortal wounds because if you roll any 6s on the mortal wound
I actually
save on
think
Nagash,
this was good for JP.
That was good.
Because it means that Nagash isn't within 4 here now, so he can't do the mortal wounds onto the Sentinels.
Well, it depends on whether or not. So he can still pile in an inch.
An inch. That's what. So Greg was just measuring that 4 inches, and I don't think he's in range to do it.
Yeah.
It's because these 2 died from the Unleash Hell.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Well, from their own Unleash Hell. Yeah, I think JP's like, I don't know what's happening right now, but I'm happy about that.
I'm having a great time.
That's great. So there we go. There's the 1 inch. So Severith has an ability that means you can only pile in an inch.
Yep.
Basically, because he's like razor hot sand. So that double 6 charge from Greg, fantastic. But as Severith has kind of undone him. But I gotta say, with the prio coming up. And even in the right situation, Nagash is going to be very happy to be there.
Yeah, definitely.
If he can take Severith out, that's going to take out some key pieces. Let's not forget the burns that we've got in this battle plan. So we could see him burning objectives. We've got the Blade Lords there as well. But on a priority roll, Nagash can be into the Sentinels, which takes out most of his threat pieces, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
The Vengori Lord, I'm not sure how the Vengori Lord's going to activate or deal with this particular, with the rest of the board.
The thing that I'm worried about is actually if JP gets a turn here, right?
Yeah.
So if JP gets a turn, he's just done 6 wounds to Nagash.
No, he hasn't. He's done 2.
He did 2?
2. Because he did 4, and then he saved 2, and those 2 he bounced back at his opponent.
No. He did mortal wounds and bounced 2 back. He's taken 6 mortal wounds.
He hasn't. We'll find out how many wounds Nagash has taken.
90% sure that's happened.
You said he was going to take 6.
And then if JP wins the priority, he can do like a bajillion mortal wounds from here. Try and get Lamb and Light off again. Do another 10 mortal wounds, which would go to another 6 or 5 or 6.
Close enough.
And then you do the Wind Spirits, shoot him in. You could drop Nagash turn 2.
Yeah. All right. We'll see. I don't think that's as likely. I think we're in a good spot. But then he's got the shots from the Wind Spirits. That's
what I mean. There's still a lot of output in JP's list that can deal with Nagash, and because he's lost Manfred already.
But this has put him in a much better place.
Oh, 100%. I think this was a really good play. But it's obviously if JP gets the priority, it's going to be amazing for JP, and if Greg gets the priority, it's going to be even better for Greg.
Yeah. I think it's really, really good for both players in this particular situation. It always is. But Greg's put himself back in the driving seat, which is great. It's more equal now. Okay, so we're over on table 4. We've just seen 2 salamanders die in combat. So as you can see, what's Dan done with his turn with the Deepkin? He's pushed the Eidolon into the center and just completely avoided the prime up in the top.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's pushed forward the Alapexes, trying to push into those skinks, and he's also brought his Achillean guard in as well, just trying to take out any ability.
But this is what I mean, though. Like, yes, Andy managed to kill a lot of the threats, but he didn't kill any of the threats. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, actually, Dan's still got all the output that he's actually got in his
army.
army.
The Leviathan's okay in the fight.
But the output, the Leviathan doesn't have any actual output. You take him for the +1 save.
Yeah.
And actually, all your output comes from the Sharks and the Eidolon. So I think Dan's in okay. And again, if Dan wins the priority and gets the double here going into turn 3 when he strikes first, he's going to be very, very happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't think Dan's unhappy with how this is going, especially as we've seen Andy lose 2 of his salamanders right now.
But
the Achillean King is also over in combat as well.
Ah, brilliant. But again, he's lost 2 salamanders, but if the other Seraphon game's anything to go by, we're just going to see them rally back, which won't be, I'm not sure Dan will be happy about that at all.
No, me either. So, just give you an update, Severith is dead. Something people love to hear. Severith is dead from the combat attacks from Nagash.
Lovely.
And we still haven't unleashed the arcane bolts from Nagash. So he could put those into the Blade Lords in front of him.
Definitely.
Or if he wants to, he can put those into the Sentinels. And that's going to be 5 D3 mortal wounds.
So if he puts them into the Sentinel, it's just going to be 5 mortal wounds, right? Because he's not within 3. But if he puts them into Blade Lords, is it going to be like 5 D3? So I think you do just throw them into the Blade Lords, just get rid of them.
And then you hold the objective.
Yeah, you hold the objective. You're then going to at least score equal, because unfortunately for Greg, that this objective is held by JP. So he has to take this one to get hold 1, hold 2.
So the Blade Lords we're just hearing have ignored 2 of the 4 more arcane bolts using their spell ignore, and so they've only taken 2 mortal wounds. Not 2 mortal wounds.
Okay.
They've only taken 2, so they're not dead in this situation. So this priority roll is going to be pretty cool.
Those Blade Lords are quite good into Nagash, then, aren't they?
Yeah, really good. I mean,
well, it means that there's a chance that these Blade Lords can actually just hold Nagash up into it, because the way Nagash is going to get out of this is by casting arcane bolts.
Kind of offended
if you just
said
roll
Blade Lords
4+.
were good. Kind of offended. You
Why?
said Blade Lords.
Into Nagash in a very specific, random situation that's never ever going to actually happen ever again.
Then yes.
Like in this one specific circumstance, they might be good.
They might be
into
okay.
a single character,
which is a reason to buy some.
So buy the Blade Lords now. So yes,
here we go. Priority.
Okay.
This is the one. This is the one. Don't think JP is for England.
This. Greg's going to need
England.
this.
Greg needs it for Wales. Both teams looking to take out the tournament. This could be the tournament-winning dice roll.
It's really good.
It's so huge.
Come on, guys. Can they just roll it now?
Just
roll it.
Stop breaking our hearts. Come on. This is so important.
I'm sure JP's doing a little dance to prepare, isn't he?
Yeah. This is going to be... Okay, genuine questions being asked over the Welsh dice.
Which is completely fair. I've seen them roll a lot of 6s. Here we go. Greg's rolled a 1?
No.
JP's won it.
Wow, they both rolled a 1.
They both rolled a 1.
They both rolled a 1. And JP has won it. JP going to be over the moon about that because he was in a very tough spot.
Can we find out how many wounds Nagash is on?
Interested that we saw Greg have to roll a non-Welsh dice.
He's going to be livid. He's going to be like...
He rolled a Scottish dice and it rolled a 1.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. That tells you, listen, Team Scotland, that's what you need. Now, not forgetting, if you guys are interested, there is also 2 other ongoing matches in this round. So we've got Scotland are playing Northern Ireland. They were one of the contenders for the title. And so Northern Ireland looking to cap against Scotland to give them an opportunity to take it out in round 5. This is only round 4. And then you've got Ireland versus Sweden. Ireland playing to make sure they don't grab the wooden spoon this round. Sweden looking to play hard Warhammer.
I mean, to say Sweden is still on for a podium. Because they capped their last round yesterday. And they've done fairly well getting points yesterday. So Sweden are still playing for a podium.
So, table 1, we'll just go back to this and we'll see how Darren is unpacking against Alex's. So this is Darren's first turn, as you can see.
My questions here are, where are the Canary gone?
Well, so these Canary that did drop down, they did kill these 10 skinks.
Yep.
Right. So they took them off, and now we've seen the primers landed. And then these salamanders have also done their shooting, and they're shooting into the Canary. But I think those threats needed to be got rid of, right? And not Darren isn't lucky necessarily to have these salamanders back.
Well,
I mean, like Rally was good in that situation, but I wouldn't be 7 dice, 2 sixes seems okay. I know it's not average, but like it's fine.
It's fine, right?
Yeah. Which is why salamanders are so good. You see them featured in so many lists. But I'm not surprised. Little baby Marathi out at the front as well.
Yep.
And then also the Canary. So he's really looking to protect these bow snakes at this point because he really needs to. Darren just using his salamanders aggressively to say, look, I don't mind you shooting at these. I don't mind you taking these out because I've got my 30 skinks and they're going to be my board control.
Yep.
They're also going to be what grab me objectives because I don't have a lot of bodies.
Is there salamanders up here
There
as
is
well?
also some salamanders at the top, which also we saw take out some Canary in the top right-hand corner.
I think Darren's just going for all those Canary to deal with the snakes and Marathi later. Because actually all of Alex's army is in the Canary. You lose that, and what do you do? And also, not forgetting that Darren's can easily do those 3 damage to Marathi every single turn, which he has done. And whatever Marathi goes to charge, she's going to get Unleashed Hell.
Yes, she is. Yeah, she's going to get Unleashed Hell here. She's going to get Unleashed Hell here. But
I mean, you do just throw into like a Canary, right, to stop that. But if you kill all the Canary, you can't stop that Unleashed Hell into Marathi.
What's interesting is that he doesn't necessarily Alex doesn't have necessarily loads of threats left. Like on the priority roll, I'm pretty certain this is Darren's game.
Yeah, if Darren gets the priority, all of this output goes straight into the Bloodstalkers, and then if he kills the Bloodstalkers, that's game. Like that's just straight up game over.
Right, so just to keep you updated, we've had a priority roll on table number 4.
So Dan needs this one.
This is a flip. Instead of both rolling a 1, both players rolled a 6. But that unfortunately means for England that Wales get the turn and Andy gets to go first.
Oh, this is going to be rough now.
However, don't worry, Team England, if you're rooting for Team England, because on table 1, Darren has won priority for turn 2.
Okay.
And that is monstrous. He's going to push these salamanders into the bow snakes. He's going to push these salamanders forward into these Canary. He's going to use the prime to do some mortal wounds in AoE.
Yep.
Or Comet's Call.
Potentially
any of those things.
Teleport these guys here to do some more damage there.
The skinks can move forward more aggressively.
Maybe even summon another salamander.
The important point is that what Alex is going to do is he's going to lose more of the bow snakes, which means he loses more output, which means he loses his ability to deal with the salamanders, he loses his ability to deal with the skinks. That's fantastic.
Do we know how many Canary are left in the sky? Because I think that's quite important.
Can we get an update on how many Canary are left? Because that would be really good. So just looking at the board states right now, don't forget these are 4 of 8 games. So he's got 1 unit of 5 Canary left in the sky. We might well be seeing.
I think this is looking really rough for Alex.
Really rough for Alex. Really good for England. On table 4, really bad for England. Really good for Wales.
Yeah.
So that's
really bad for England now.
That's a 1-1. Table 2, the priority roll for JP. JP's super happy to be getting the priority roll going into 2. Yeah,
JP's going to be super happy going into this because actually this does mean that Nagash, danger close. He's going to be going into doing a lot of damage into Nagash. It'll be nice if we can get to know how many Nagash, how many wounds Nagash is on. But these Sentinels could drop a Nagash, and then you find that these guys can start targeting the zombies and just start dealing with all of Greg's output. So I think Greg's in a rough position, but only if we see Nagash go down. If Nagash stays alive, then Greg's still going to be in an absolutely fantastic position.
Yeah, another Unleash Hell would be really good. But have we seen Marathi ever doing anything? We've seen it actually do anything yet. It's interesting, Benjamin in the chat. That's a great question. I'm not 100%.
Not this weekend, no.
Not this weekend, no. Not this weekend, no. But then that's a lot to do with the pairings and a lot to do with who they're paired into.
I think it's quite telling how much chip damage people have at the moment. Just to be able to go, okay, I'll do the 3 wounds. I'll do the 3 wounds here. I'll do the 3 wounds there. I'll do the 3 wounds there. And because you aren't going, I'll just randomly use this attack. You're sort of using all those little attacks that you normally don't ever use. Just go, I'll throw that at Marathi.
Yeah.
I'll do this to Marathi. And I don't think she's being played that well this weekend.
There's that as well. I mean, that to be fair to Alex though, Alex is on the back.
But I'm
of
not saying
3.
Alex played badly there. It's just that Darren's list deals with Marathi, right?
Yes, but I think also if we look at the two Seraphon lists that we've seen play, both of them have done great work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this game, Lambent Light has been attempted and it has been unbound again.
Yeah, I'm not sure JP's going to be that disappointed. I think he goes into it, throws the dice, and goes, "You're probably going on and bind this, but I might as well try."
I want Lambent Light. If I get it, I get it. Yeah, but he did get off Total Eclipse.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, again, if Nagash doesn't go down here, so if you don't take out Nagash right now, I think Greg's still going to be in a really happy position.
I think
you've
so.
still got 1,000
he could lose
points
the
in
Vengori
your
Lord,
face, right?
But let's talk about the battle plan, because actually that might not be true, because if we see what's happening here, if he shoots into the Vengori Lord, then then there's no one on the objective, right?
Okay.
This 24-inch moving Wind Spirit and this one will be able to move onto the objectives, get within an inch, burn this,
So you can only burn one a turn.
Well, okay. Well, then you burn this one, let's say.
Yeah.
Although I assume, actually, maybe Greg... Is this like a mega good play? Is Greg setting this up? If he moves within 9 inches, is he going to redeploy? Or is he going to be like... Does redeploy happen...
So redeploy is always in the movement phase. So you move to back, like, here. And then
you end the movement... End of the shooting phase move, which is a Wind Spirit move. That's awful. Zombies also pile in 6 inches.
Yeah, but if you say...
But they have to be within 6.
Yeah, so this is... I don't think this is 6 inches here.
No.
If you put your fox there, you're in with an inch, and you can't do that.
Yeah. So, but the big play is if Greg remembers if Greg does the redeploy. I don't think so.
JP's not going to let him redeploy though.
We said a lot there, but I'll remind you guys. I'll remind you guys of what we're talking about. What happens is if you end up within 9 inches of a unit, then you get to redeploy. But it has to be at the end of the movement, or within the not the end of the movement phase, within the movement phase. Wind Spirits are able to move at the end of the shooting phase, which is unique and no one else can do it. So what this basically means is he could move outside of that 9-inch barrier and then avoid a redeploy and move in here. Now, the 6-inch piling that zombies have happens in the combat phase.
It does.
Or start the combat phase, but you still have to be within 6. So I still think JP will be able to burn... He'll definitely be able to burn... Oh, so there's a couple of zombies on this objective. So I reckon he'll be able to burn that one. Without really engaging. And actually, he might be able to put a Wind Spirit over this side and threaten to do the same next turn.
You'd have to do that on the next turn because there's 4 zombies on that one. But yeah, I think you potentially just ignore Nagash here. I think that the brave play, the risky play, is to just try and get Nagash. As soon as you do that, you win the game.
I reckon though he can just shoot out all the zombies.
Yeah, but like I think Nagash can then just maybe just deal with it. But then
So let's just go to table 3. Let's see what Ricky did with that double turn. So Ricky ran up here and he took out the Alapex. Don't forget, Ricky's taken turn 1 and turn 2.
Yeah.
He's moved his Varangard forward onto this, just in front of his opponent to say, look, come and fight me, and also to take the center of the board. We've just heard in Matt's turn 2, so he's got the bottom of turn 2. He's tried to cast Lambent Light on the Varangard, and he gets, which would give him rerolls on his shooting, but he wasn't able to get it off, so he hasn't done that. Now the problem for Matt is, and it's like a pretty fair one, is that if he does move his Wardens up to try and attack the Varangard, then you move outside of the goading arrogance range that you get to ignore Archeon. And Archeon, but the thing is I don't mind that. I reckon the 20 Wardens survive Archeon.
Yeah, but I just think I have a feeling Matt's made the mistake of playing how he always plays here. Because playing in that castle, I think why just like the objectives are here. There's nothing here that Matt's actually gaining.
But it's early. It's very early. He's he's fine on points.
But we're going into turn 3, right?
No, he hasn't had his turn 2.
Yeah, I get that. But what does he actually do? Like this, he's not going to be able to get this one, in my opinion. Like, and also like he's never taking this objective right now. So you're going to go down on point. I think Matt's going to be. He's got a tough time, and Ricky's going to be really relaxed.
We might see the Wardens move now. I mean, again, he's not actually finished his turn 2 movement, right? So like, I think, Yeah, so I think he's fine. And look, you might see him unpack now, which means he's in an okay position. At the end of the day, Archeon being on the board is one of those major threats you do have to deal with. I'm not surprised if he tries to take out the Vanguard, and I don't think Ricky's upset about that either. Ricky's like, cool, bring your Wardens here. I'll try and trade with Archeon. And then the Sentinels probably don't do as much. But since the change of the Eye of Shireen, which is an artifact that is carried around by Big Papa Man himself. So yeah, the Eye of Sheeran over there, he can make himself -1 to hit once, but you don't re-roll 6s. And as we've talked about a lot with Sentinels over the weekend, all those mortal wounds come from 5s and 6s. And the output from Archeon is good. Ren 2 here, but you can easily in Sire ignore that. You can have a 3-up armor save on those Wardens, ignoring Ren 2. So that makes that damage 3 attack coming in from Slayer King's not as scary. Monstrous Claws, Ren 2 as well. Again, you can make that not as scary. Then the 2d6 attacks coming from Lashing Tails is a bit random. That Ren 1. And then the 3 heads. Now, that's not saying that Archeon doesn't do some amazing damage, because he does. But if anyone's going to tank it, it's Wardens.
It's going to be Wardens,
It's going to be Wardens, especially because we've got Techless on the board. This isn't the other build.
We do, yeah.
So that's a 5-up ward save coming from Protection of Techless in a bubble in those Wardens. So if I was Matt, I'd be a bit braver with those Wardens. Honestly, I get Sentinels are super good. Why would you ever take Wardens over Sentinels? But I wouldn't be surprised if in future iterations of Lumineth list, we don't see 2 bricks of Wardens with Techless behind them.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kills them.
Yeah. No.
So big shout out to our judge yesterday, our head judge running around, Nico. Thank you for subscribing in the chat. Big love to you. It was great seeing you yesterday, and it's really fun to have some active judging at the Six Nations event.
It was brilliant, wasn't it? It was brilliant to see.
Right, table 4. We've just heard that from the shooting coming in. Look at this. There is not a lot left for either player here.
No.
We've lost the no, we haven't lost the Bastillon. Bastillon's teleported into the top right-hand corner. And then has made a charge in. We've also lost all of the Alapexes apart from 1 in here and then 1 in here. This is a unit of Salamanders that are also going into this Alapex. So looking pretty good for Andy in this position, because he's also got the prime to charge, I think.
Yeah.
We'll find this in a moment, and he'll be going into the Leviathan, which will be quite nice. But I guess it's who he's going to activate in to first. Or is he even going to try attack into the Leviathan? That'd be interesting. Or are you going to take out the Alapex? What do you think?
You take out the Eidolon. Because I honestly, I don't think it matters. I think you're probably more likely to kill the Alapex, which means you go into the Alapex. But I think you can probably take out... Yeah, he's gone into the Alapex there. I think that makes sense. You just kill everything bar the Leviathan and say, all right, turn 3, you've got a Leviathan left. Good job.
Is this turn 3? This could well be turn 3.
It is turn 3, yeah.
Yeah. So he is going to get to go first.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for Dan, by the end of this turn, he's just going to have... All he's going to have left is that Eidolon. Which, yeah. It's not really very, it's not looking good for Dan.
So table 3, the Varangard have died. Now, the most important thing here is the Sentinel shot in.
Yep.
Did most of the damage because they went for Broken Ranks, which is kill a battle line unit.
Okay.
Yeah, those Varangard in Host of the Everchosen are a battle line unit. Now, he didn't kill them all.
Yep.
And so Techless shot in with his shooting attack, killed them, which means not only did he achieve the Broken Ranks, he achieved Broken Ranks with a monster.
Okay.
Which gains him an additional 1 victory point, which is a big swing for Matt in this particular very cagey game between these two players. It also means that center objective is not free again, and it also means that Ricky's got to make the decision on what he's going to do here.
Well, I just think...
Okay, so table 2. We've seen what the Sentinels have decided to do. JP's moving them out here, and he's decided to go for the Vengori Lord, like we talked about. The Wind Spirits at the bottom of the board here, looking to grab these objectives, just like I said. So he's going to burn that center objective. Literally almost nothing Greg can do about this. As you can see, he kept out of 9. Wow, the Sentinels shot and have only done 2 wounds on the Vengori Lord. He's going to be super happy because the Vengori Lord counts as 5.
He does, but we've still got the Foxes to go, right?
We do still have the Foxes to go, but and the foxes are going now. If the foxes don't kill him, that means JP isn't going to be able to grab this objective and burn it. This is really key for JP to be able to murder this. The foxes have got a great shooting profile. It's, well, let's just go look at it very quickly. As you can see, 4 shots, 2 threes, Ren 2 damage, D3. I assume we've seen Finest Hour, so +1 save put on the Vengori Lord, and I assume we'll also have seen all-out defense.
Yeah.
I'm pretty surprised, though. A little bit of a mistake maybe by
There
Greg.
he goes.
Oh, wow. Okay. There we go. So that's massive. That's massive because not only has he killed a monster,
Yep.
so that's a VP for him for doing that as well. He's also going to be able to come and grab and burn this objective. Maybe a mistake made by Greg here in that we saw this unit of Wardens move in within 9. That would have been his opportunity. I thought this was one strung out unit though, so maybe not. But that would have been his opportunity to redeploy.
Yeah, but then I think you risk not getting enough. Like you realistically, you can get what 2 on, and then you're still going to have 4 models of foxes, so like it counts 2.
Yeah.
So I don't think the redeploy was going to ever matter there. And by leaving them here, you've actually got something that can go up here. So
Okay, so table 4, fans for Wales. The only thing Dan has left has got the Eidolon on the board. I guess there's quite a bit left for Andy. He's got the Prime, he's got the Bastillodon, he's got the Slan still in the Realm Shaper.
He's got more than Dan.
He's got more. He's got more. And then also those Salamanders at the bottom. I mean, the points are close. The points
They're
are close
not going to be at turn 4, the 5 though.
They're not going to be turns 4 and 5. You're right. So that's going to be clear. So this is.
I do still think Dan's going to get a couple of points out of this game because I mean, to get a 20-0, you have to get a 20-point differential, which is nigh on impossible just because of the nature of the mission.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be an 18-2, 17-3. So Dan's going to get some points out of it, but Andy's definitely won this game.
Yeah, definitely. Andy's definitely going to win this game, and which is good for Team Wales, especially because on table 1, we just go back here and see what Darren's been able to do with his second turn. I don't think we've seen the shooting yet. We'll find out. We'll just find out if he has moved. Looks like he hasn't done a lot since we've last visited the table.
Darren went for broken ranks on one of the units of bow snakes.
Yeah.
So we know he's going to be.
Oh, we heard that they went to the bar for a break.
Fair enough.
Okay, all right. So there's not much progress in this game, but I assume we're going to see.
I'm quite glad of that because it meant we could focus on the other games, and now we can actually focus down on this.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, so Marathi's taken her 3 wounds. Means she's taken 6 so far. Table 2, we know that this is. We know the Vengori Lord's gone down.
Yeah.
And then table 3, we know the Varangard have gone down, and we're waiting to see. Because we're going into the priority for turn 3 on this table now. And as you can see, Matt's in a pretty good driving place on points at the moment. Ricky, if we look, he went for Conquer and Broken Ranks, but he wasn't able to hold anything in turn 2, if that's right. We'll get that up. Make sure that's updated.
No, Ricky scored hold 1, hold 2, hold more. So he's definitely got 3 points there.
We'll get that.
And I'm
Ricky
sure he would have
on
scored his. He would have scored his battle tactic surely. Like your early battle tactics are easy, right?
Yeah. Our table bosses are doing a great job.
Oh, they're fantastic.
We'll just make sure they update the info for us, and then we'll.
So I'm going to assume it's a 10-10 right now, right? Because we're going to see, and then this is why I'm just worried about this castle that Matt's gone.
Okay, so we've seen priority rolled. So we're going to get an update on what we've seen.
This is why I was worried about the castle. So it looks like Ricky has won the priority, given it away to Matt, so that he could burn this objective down here. And now all Ricky's got to do is go, I'm just going to sit here. And I'm going to be up on points. I'm happy. Because Matt didn't score this middle objective in his turn 2. So it's actually going to be 8. I think it's 10-8 currently to Ricky.
Yeah. So we just need to get an update on table 3 about this priority roll, please. And just to make sure. Adam, pretty certain everything you just said was right, but let's make sure that that's right. Oh, so he won the priority roll and he gave it away?
No, he must have taken it. Because Ricky's definitely burnt that objective.
He won the priority roll and he took it.
See, that's just...
No, so I don't like that's his Matt's played a lot of Warhammer. Yeah, right now it looks like a huge mistake. And in the reverse, you and me would think, okay, if I was Ricky,
you give the turn, right? You burn this, right? Because you're going second, and then Ricky can't do anything into your castle right now, which then means in your turn, so you just go right now. I can do my things and I win the game. I don't understand this at all.
Well, see, this is the point. Matt plays a lot, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
The Gould boy.
Yep.
Yeah, the Golden Boy. That's his game
Yeah.
name. The Golden Boy has played a lot. He's done really well in competitive Warhammer for a while. Like, yes, he's dropped a couple of games here and there, 4-1s,
Yeah.
but he's not a 3-2 player. He's a 4-1, 5-0 player.
Yeah.
Like, and in tough fields, in lots of places, and Techless, Lumineth, he's been maining for months.
Yep.
Right? Like, I think he knows what Wardens can do. I think he's going to push Wardens in the middle, because, like, what are Marauders going to do into those Wardens?
Weight of
Die.
dice.
Weight
of dice.
Nah, no way. Like, they're not, especially because he's about to shoot them off, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, he's going to outscore him. Don't forget, he's also got Life Swarm, so he's going to be bringing these Wardens back. Yeah, I don't know if he just doesn't sit the Wardens as a pike wall in the middle. Say to Archeon.
I feel like I know you love your Wardens. I don't think everyone else loves them as much as you. I don't think. I think Matt's literally going to do this. He's going to put Wardens here. He's going to put his Sentinels here, and yeah, like he's teleported 10 Wardens there. Yeah. So he must have used the teleport spell with the Wardens. Okay. So he is breaking the castle a little bit. I don't get letting this objective get burnt. It's bothering me
because he's methodical, right? Yeah, Matt plays slow, right? But it's because he's right, but because he plays so effectively. Like he's like, look at him. He's like, I'm not giving you an in. Like this. Like if we compare it to game one with Alex and Darren, I think that this was pretty razor edge anyway for both players, right? But like Alex was like, cool, I'm going to commit. I'm going to give you some trading pieces. It's either going to go my way or it's not going to go my way. Very much like what we've seen on table 4, really. Like Dan, who's only got the one piece left, he zoned out really nicely. He had no other options.
I mean, Dan had to play for the priority, and it lost, right?
Yeah.
So
right?
you know.
So he zoned out and created space for himself. He gave himself a bunch of options, but then unfortunately Andy's army just rolled over. I mean, specifically, the Leviathan was pretty sad, and how much those salamanders did.
But this game, like, if Dan won the priority, it went the exact other way.
Yeah.
So
okay.
like, you know.
But this again, this is a very different game again about how the players are playing.
Yep.
Like JP just sat off, and Greg has done like an amazing job of getting himself back in this game.
Yeah.
But 3, I think Matt, like, I'm just giving him his dues. I think he understands.
That's fair. I just, as much as I don't, again, when I say, like, I think something's a mistake, it doesn't mean they're going to lose the game, right?
Yeah.
I just think, I don't understand why you would do that when you could just go, now I'm in a better position. Well, because I still think Matt's in a good position, right?
You mean he could have given him the turn and then deleted that?
Yeah.
And then been sat here.
Yeah. So, like, then you didn't even have to do anything, right?
That's true.
You're still in your castle with goading arrogance, so Archeon can't do anything to you. And then you say, all right, I'm going to bring Archeon here, and now you're danger close to everything that I've got.
Yeah.
And then you still can teleport the Wardens here. You can still break your castle a little bit, but you don't have as much, I think, you're not having to stress about getting that last objective. Because unfortunately, Matt's 2 points behind.
Yeah, he is.
And he can't take this
Is he 2 points out? We don't know he's 2 points behind.
He's definitely 10-8.
Well,
definitely 10-8 to Ricky.
Why don't we find out what it is?
Definitely 10-8.
Okay. Like, can we get an update on the score, please, on table 3? Would be cool. And then we'll know where we're at. Because right now, as we understand it, it's 10-5. So like he's definitely got 10 points. So
Matt has not got 10 points.
So we get an update from table 3 for the score. Just tell us would be cool. Amazing. All right. Okay. And so we've just heard on table 2, JP's scored hold 1, hold 2, and as you can see, looks like he's about to burn this. He has burnt this objective.
Yep.
And now, and we killed the Vangori Lord earlier. Okay, that's great. Table 4, we've had the result, 18-2. So looking at the matrix, about as good as you can get. 18-2 here, pretty nice. I mean, 12 points difference. Like, he could have been right at the bottom end of that bracket.
Yeah, definitely.
For the 18-2. But Wales, with their first points on the board, as we understand it so far. Happy Father's Day to everyone in the chat over in Sweden. We've had some other events, some results from around the tournament. In fact, we've only had one in Dave Kane for Northern Ireland taking a major loss against Paul Duduku we had on the stream yesterday.
Nice.
With his against Scotland. So Scotland got themselves a major win there, which is really dashing the hopes of Northern Ireland for going on to that big capping round. They need to score as many points as possible this round.
But this was, to be fair, that's probably is the major loss that Northern Ireland were expecting, because that was Deepkin into KO.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I think they'll be okay with that.
Okay.
I think they'll be all right.
They'll be okay. So just get the update about the score, please, on table 3, and then we can continue on with this. Okay, so the Varangard. So the Varangard were a Predator unit, and then obviously the Sentinels are a Predator unit.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an additional point. Oh yeah, and Teclis killed him.
Okay, so yeah, he's probably 10-10 at the moment then. Yeah, fair.
Okay, but they're going to work out the points and get us an update in a moment for you guys. Table 1, we'll see what Darren has done with his. It is 10-10. Well, it's not 10-8, is it?
They don't tell me about the Predators, did they?
Yeah. But the point is, table 2 right now, not table 2, sorry, table 3 right now between Ricky and Matt. England versus Wales. Ricky being for England is a 10-10.
Yep.
So Matt being more conservative doesn't seem like a negative at that stage, but we will see what he decides to do with the rest of this movement. He has started to unpack those Wardens very carefully. And he's still got his shooting phase to come.
Yeah.
So he's still got those Sentinels. And he might start, probably the only thing he's got to do is to start throwing them at Archeon.
I think you throw them at the Marauders, right?
Are they close enough? Or am I just like completely unaware of how
30
long?
inches is just mental, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the board's only like 48 across, or 60 across. So,
60 across. I think you're right. Maybe that's close enough. Or maybe he takes out the War Shrine. The War Shrine's a pretty key piece. For buffing Archeon.
I don't think you bother going for Archeon, to be honest, because actually with the Golden Arrogance, he's not doing anything.
Well, he heals. He also heals. He'll also heal D3 in his turn, and he'll D3 in the other turn. Right.
Yeah, we've also just heard that the Sentinels have guiding flurries, so they've got a plus 6-inch range.
Oh,
so they're 36-inch range.
Okay. All right. They're doing real well. All right. So just to look how Darren is doing in this game, and look at the bow snakes melting to the withering fire of the salamanders, and also the shots coming in from the prime. So the prime. So Alex really against this. This looks like a Wales loss, in my opinion, because you've got the salamanders threatening here. He's got nothing to go over and threaten these salamanders.
Yep.
And this just that priority roll into 2, just like fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant.
Like. There was also.
So we just had some big. This is massive actually.
Yeah.
Because so Darren's just killed the Medusa that was sat there.
Yep.
And that Medusa had the command trait circling flock. So he's not going to bring those extra 5 Canary.
No, he won't be able to. So they're out as well. So just Razor picking out those units, and this has just been pretty deadly for Alex, which is why I think we saw them go to the bar. Like pretty wild looking very close, and Marathi's taken 9 wounds. I'm going to say this is another win for England.
Oh, 100%.
So this puts them 1 up. Oh no, this is their 1 win, with Wales getting a 1 win, and then 2 and 3. This is all cagey, all to play for.
I think this is an England win.
You think so?
Yeah,
I mean, burning the objective at the bottom here was pretty key. And truthfully, you're probably right, because the Vengori Lord's down, Manfred's down.
Yeah,
I mean, Nagash is 1,000 points.
But next turn you just kill the zombies, right? So you just ignore Nagash, you kill the zombies, and then Nagash can't do all of this in 2 turns.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I mean...
And the foxes just sit bouncing around the objectives, like going, burn!
What's been pretty amazing watching JP play for the past 2 days, we saw him play yesterday as well, obviously, is just turn 1, he's like, cool, I'll just delete your 400 point character, and for no retort. And yes, it was the Sentinels, but it was also the Foxes.
Yep.
The Foxes also threw that in as well. We saw 9 additional damage coming from the Foxes yesterday. We saw the Foxes also help kill off that Vengori Lord in the center here. So if it wasn't for the Wind Spirits in addition, because you're looking at 8 shots that are damage D3, and if you throw Severithin, you're looking at 12 shots that are damage D3. Okay, so another result that we've heard coming for Wales versus England is we had, and not on stream because no one wanted to see it ever, we had Simon Weekly running his pink horror spam.
Yep.
Which he's taken to many events recently and done really well with, versus Tom Maudsley playing for England with his pink horror spam.
And I assume they're still deploying?
No, they finished.
I'm sorry, what?
They finished, and it's a 15-5.
How?
15-5.
I think that's an achievement in itself, not the winning part. Just finishing
just the fact
that
that
game.
it's finished. Yeah. So Simon bringing a 15-5 home for Wales and putting another win for Wales on the board, making these games even more important. Other matches we have, you got Russ Field from Facehammer against Dan George, and also for England. Sorry, and Dan George for Wales. And also
Bucks.
out of the Bucks Wargaming Collective playing, and that's Sons of Behemoth versus Soulblight Gravelords game, which is really good. I think that favours Dan, but we'll see how that goes. We don't know what the results are. And then the other matches that we have are Terry Pike with his Nurgle.
Yep.
Is up against Legion of the First Prince for Wales.
Okay.
And then there's one other match which I can't remember.
It'd be Deepkin versus something else.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe the other Lumineth? Yeah, the other Lumineth.
Yeah, the other Lumineth.
Yeah, the other Lumineth.
Maybe.
More to play for, but currently...
No, because Matt's played the other Lumineth.
Okay, yeah. But currently it's 2-0 to Wales.
Yeah.
2-0 to Wales, which is, they're going to be pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
Because the best that they can do is hold England to a draw.
Yeah,
right? And if they do that, it becomes all about the cap score going forward. So this is a pretty killer match and is very important. And JP is bringing it home for England, so he's making sure it works really nicely.
Yeah, definitely. I think JP's in a fairly confident position here. But again, Greg is a cracking player, and it looks like we're seeing these zombies going through a gravesite.
Yes, we've seen. So this gold token, so that's a gravesite, and we've seen the zombies. Is Greg blowing my mind? What is he going to outscore? Is he going to do a big charge? Those zombies can't charge any of this. What's he going to do? Is he going for the?
Charge
I know
the
what
wardens.
he's doing. No, he's charging the ward. No, he's charging the sentinels. Right, Nagash goes into the sentinels. He kills the sentinels. He's on the objective, and he burns that. He wins the prio. He just does it all again.
Yeah, definitely.
Greg is playing out of his skin. Like, Greg is like, and Nagash has got 5 arcane bolts.
As you do.
Greg is playing. This is probably my favorite game of the weekend. Greg has been he's like maybe Archie's game as well, where Archie pulled it back with Techless. But like watching Sentinels just ruin your day and then just like hammer forward. Cabbies, there are 8 games. So England versus Wales, because it's 2 teams of 8 playing against each other. You've got Scotland also playing Northern Ireland, and Sweden playing the Republic of Ireland.
Oh, here goes Nagash going straight into those Sentinels. 5d3 mortal wounds going to come into those Sentinels.
Did the zombies get in? Did he make the big play? Did he get the charge?
Well, I assume we'll wait for the Unleash Hell. So it'll be Unleashed Hell into Nagash, and then the zombies will go into the Sentinels.
I love that he's using Nagash to tank an Unleashed Hell.
I mean, I bet he's trying to do it to bounce the mortal wounds back.
Oh my god! So if the zombies go in, Greg has brought himself back in the game again. Like Greg is playing out of his skin. Absolutely loving this Warhammer. It's very, very good. So we'll see. So the Unleash Hell again. If you charge a unit, it can stand and shoot at -1 to hit.
Yeah.
Table 1. It's all over now. We've seen the Prime also going to the Bow Snakes. And I don't think Darren has lost a unit. Oh, he's lost 10 skinks.
Oh.
He lost 10 skinks in this bottom left-hand corner, and that's it.
Yeah, this is just... Darren's played a really good game, to be honest. I mean, getting a double helps to play a good game, right? But, yeah, he target priorited really well. Like, he was like, right, I can do the 3 chip damage easy to Marathi. I mean, Marathi's taken 9 wounds.
Yep.
Right? And then, literally, all the Canary were zoning out like this. They did some loads of stuff. And Darren was like, yeah, but I'm just going to target those. I'll leave your bow snakes till turn 3, and I'll just target all your other stuff.
Turn 2.
Just turn 2?
Yeah, I'm pretty
No, it's got to be turn 3. Oh, no, it is turn 2.
It's turn 2. It's turn 2, because you got the double, right?
Wow.
I'm pretty certain. Yeah, this is a double. He went for broken ranks. This is just the double, 1 into 2. This is what Seraphon do, man. Like, to be fair, though,
Okay.
Alex's list is also very fragile.
Yeah.
Whoa, the Sentinels did. Wow, okay, so on table 2, the Sentinels have taken 7 wounds in return.
No, so they've done 7 mortal wounds to the Nagash.
Oh, they've done 7 to Nagash. Okay, I heard that the wrong way around. So they've done 7 wounds to Nagash.
But
how many wounds have you got left? Can we find how many? The zombies made it! The zombies made it! How many wounds has Nagash got left, please? That would be so great to know. The zombies are in. That's really big.
Yeah, it is.
That's huge. And well pointed out by Prop Joe in the chat, obviously with Total Eclipse, that re-roll.
But they didn't need the re-roll.
Nagash has got 9 wounds left. Okay, Nagash has got 9 wounds left. And the Sentinels aren't going to do any damage to the zombies anyway. Is he got within an inch? Of course he's got within an inch. Yeah? This is... Greg's played out his skin. He's like, I'm bringing Wales home. He lives 30 minutes away from Firestorm Games, which is where we're at right now, doing the coverage. He couldn't be more Welsh. Yeah?
No, not really.
He was singing mining songs on his way here. He walked the 30 minutes in.
He walked the 30 minutes in.
Singing They were singing Why Delilah while they charged. Yeah, they're absolutely... Oh, it's very... This is exciting. We've also heard he's eaten 5 Welsh cakes. He's doing everything he can. JP, on the other hand...
He's just like powering up, going Super Saiyan Welsh.
Yeah. JP, on the other hand, has downed a can of Stella. Yeah, and he's read the Sun. He's couldn't be more English right now. He couldn't be more English. He said he's not having lunch here. He's having fish and chips for lunch. He's going out to find it, and he's ready. Yeah, there's. Hey Twitch chat.
It's got weird.
This is us too, just hanging out in the booth, and we're very excited about these matches. I hope you're enjoying it. No. Right, so boo the Sun. Agreed. Never buy the Sun. It's terrible. Never buy it. Awful. Right, so this is the most UK thing I've ever heard. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's never read the Sun. Yeah, sorry. I apologise for my offence. So, table 2. I shouldn't make jokes.
No.
I shouldn't make jokes, apparently. Table 2, this is our game between Greg. And then table 3, we're still waiting to see what Matt's going to do with the rest of his turn. He's shuffled, or as we call it, the 5-inch shuffle.
The Matt.
The Matt shuffle.
The Gouldsborough.
Maybe that's what we should. That should be his gaming name, not the golden one, but the Goulden one. Sorry, but the shuffler.
The shuffle.
The shuffle. The Matt Gouldsborough shuffle. He just shuffles 5 inches this way, or 5 inches this way, and then he shoots 36 inches.
Yeah, I don't think Matt actually knows how to move.
That's not true, though.
He wouldn't get on the Gargants.
Don't forget the wind spirits time.
Yeah, when he gets this on, he's like, ooh.
Yeah. He's like, if I'm not moving 48 inches, what's the point?
It literally is. It's like, if I'm only going 4, I ain't moving.
If I'm not moving these wind charges up here, 16 inches. Oh, sorry, 32 inches and 32 inches back. I'm not moving.
I'm not moving at all.
It feels pointless to move at that stage. So come on, Matt, for Wales. Ricky, I believe in you. What can Ricky do?
Stand there.
No, he needs to do more than that. Come on, Ricky. Ricky's just got a YOLO Swaggins. Do you not think?
Do you know, like, why not just, like, I don't know, because, again, Matt's in a really strong position, right? I mean, it's 10-10, so I think Matt, I just think maybe you can teleport this unit with Mask of Darkness, but it just gets unbound by Techless. I think you just throw Archeon into these, and then you play next turn, you go Archeon down here, and then this has got to be 6 inches, right? There's no way he's made that mistake. But I was thinking maybe you throw Archeon onto there, just Slayer of Kings in. There's no way that's a mistake.
There's no way the shuffler makes that mistake.
And the issue is with goading Arik, is Archeon's just completely pointless in this mission. Because, like, you can't hit it.
But he's only useless in this
literal game. Because, like, Archeon can't swing, and he's got no shooting to be able to deal with that goading arrogance.
Yeah.
So you have to throw the Marauders here, try and deal with that. And the Marauders can do a lot of output.
It's true. We've got an update, by the way. We've got Ireland versus Sweden. We've got two major losses for Republic of Ireland and 20-0s for Sweden. Adam Saff and Dennis Palmqvist.
Good effort.
Both I'll tell you what's very happy for Sweden. Both of whom are the kind of like some of the star players. We also heard Liara for Sweden, their champion.
Their national champion.
Their national champion is up against the Pink Horrors and might actually be doing it as well.
Nice.
And if there's anyone who's going to do it, I believe in her at this stage.
Well, she'll just be charging blood snakes into everybody.
Yeah, if you're charging blood snakes, I'm not doubting anything that you're doing.
Yeah, here we go.
You can carry on doing that.
Does Ricky know there's not an objective here? Or is he just like...
Someone have a word.
Do they know there's no objective here or here?
He's only had a turn.
Are the guys thinking? Did the guys not remember that the objectives are in the middle of the board? They think that these circles are the matter objectives.
What we're thinking about
is the game.
Is the game. What Ricky's thinking about is losing well.
I just thought you were going to end it with losing.
No. Because Ricky might have been put into this game. You have to remember this is a team format.
Yep.
And so in that team format, your coach is like, even though you've got Archeon, even though you've got Slaves to Darkness, your coach is like, okay, the pairings didn't go the way we wanted, or this pairing isn't exactly what we wanted. But look.
Get a 10-10.
Get 5 points. Okay. So on table 2, we've heard Nagash. Nagash doesn't seem to have done a lot of damage into those Sentinels.
No.
At all. He has struck. We haven't had the zombies go. So
the zombies have gone. They've killed, I think, 4 sentinels, and 4 zombies have come out from the grave.
Yeah, because they've returned their unit. Yeah, because so when you kill a unit of zombies, or when a unit comes out, you can return it to half strength, but you can have more zombies than you started with, basically.
Yeah.
Stuff. So they're actually in a good spot. Oh, it does look like Nagash is activating now, or have we heard about Nagash activating?
This has got to be Nagash because the zombies activated first.
Oh, these are the arcane bolts. Has Nagash activated? That's the question.
Oh, wow.
Because I guess that's the right activation order, right? You do the zombies. No, Nagash has swung. And didn't do very well at all.
Nagash's profile isn't actually that great.
No, it's good. It's good. It should have done it. It should have done more.
But -1 to hit, right?
Yeah, he was been made -1 to hit, so that's pretty important because obviously of Shining Company. So is Greg outscoring? That's the point to burn the objective. Looks like he has.
Yeah. Outscoring. Yeah, he's definitely outscoring in that one, right?
He's outscoring him, which means he's going to be able to burn this objective. Which did Greg get the priority on this?
No, so we're just in turn 3. So because JP won the priority, right?
Yes, this is the bottom.
So turn 3. So we're going into another priority roll here.
So this is pretty. This is pretty big for.
And again, JP needs it again. So I think Greg's going to win it.
So Greg scored 5 points there. So he scored 5 points. That brings it up to a 12-9, if that's right. But then this priority roll, pretty important. Is he going to roll the Scottish dice? Is he going to be allowed the English dice?
Maybe they should just both roll each other's dice.
Yeah, they should use each other's dice. That's fair. Most people have national dice, which seems like a good thing to do. This is turn 2, isn't it? This is turn 2. This is turn 2. And we're going into turn 3.
Turn 3. Yeah.
Turn 3 priority. A 4 for Greg.
Oh. 4 for JP.
Oh, it's a draw again.
JP gets it.
Do you know what? You can't ask for anything fairer than that.
Exactly.
The draw means that it goes to JP because in the case of a draw, the person that didn't just have a turn gets to go. And JP has gone to the turn, and he's gone for Conquer, and that's of no surprise to me. He's got a Wind Spirit down here. He's got another Wind Spirit.
Yep.
Both of those will definitely be able to deal with one of the zombies. And then in here, I got to say, Greg is playing his absolute heart out to try and bring this game back. Any of these priority rolls, and he's put himself in an amazing position.
Yeah.
But just,
I still think he's in a competent position. I mean, he's got Nagash and zombies there now.
It feels like he's fighting Fate. Like Fate keeps going, no, you can't have this. He's like, I'll make a 12-inch charge.
Get this.
Yeah, I will bring zombies out of Deep Strike and charge. I will do this. Table 1, England have got themselves a 19-1.
Wow, big
19-1.
win.
That's a big deal. That's very important.
So that means England have got 2 wins now, or is this their first win?
So we just get this updated and just double check. This is their
first win.
This is their first win on the board. But most importantly, it's a bigger win than the 2 that we've had for Wales so far.
Yep.
We've had 18-2 for Andy, and we've had a 15-5 for Simon Weekly. Now that horror mirror is pretty important. But I don't know. I don't know if Alex ever had a chance in that game. Maybe he did on the priority roll.
They seemed confident going into it.
Do you think he had? Do you think he had it on the priority roll?
I think he had it either way, to be honest. I mean, I think Darren had it either way. Like, with Alex, like, trying to go into that Seraphon, anywhere he went, he just died, right? So I just don't think he had a chance in that game at all.
Yeah. So the objective in the center has been burnt. So
It's this objective here. So this objective here has been burnt because this is from the turn 3 ability, the tectonic interference.
Oh right. So objectives now that aren't on the board
Yeah.
are this: 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Yeah. So objectives that are currently viable are these ones, and the ones that are circled without X's. Now JP has gone for Conquer, and I assume he's chosen maybe this left-hand objective for Conquer. Here, that kind of like burning that one on this side, I guess, gives the Wardens just the excuse to run down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. With the one with the endless spell, so he's chosen this one on this side.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. So he's gone Conquer, which is take over an objective from your opponent. I guess Nagash is going to be difficult for the Sentinels to even get out of this fight. They move 6 inches. I don't think that they're going to be able to actually even retreat, personally.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it's unlikely.
And even if they retreat, then they can only move 6 inches, right?
Yeah,
which means the zombies have 6 inch
pile in
piling.
6, yeah.
So either way, they're getting hit by zombies.
Yeah, so I think the Sentinels are pretty much done for. So this will be a close game. And don't forget, this is only turn 3. So actually, Greg could be in a driving seat, maybe.
I think Greg's in a really confident position here. Like, having Nagash and those zombies. When it was only Nagash there, I was like, okay, this is fine. But as soon as he teleported those zombies, I was like, oh.
But the thing
okay.
is Greg's about to lose another... Okay, so Nagash has got overwhelming heat, so it's just halved his movement. And don't forget, we've still got, so he's got 9 wounds. Nagash has got 9 wounds left. You've got the Regent, you've got the Blade Lords, you've got the shooting from the Sentinels. Maybe that's going to be enough to go in and murder Nagash.
Murder.
Maybe it is. Maybe we're going to see the Regent and the Sentinels actually, and maybe even the Blade Lords go into the zombies and try and just make him have as few bodies on the board as possible. Maybe that's going to be the interesting. It's looking, by the way, I'm looking at some of the other matches in the hall. I'll give you guys a kind of a scan of the matches. So we're here at Firestorm Games in Cardiff, in Wales. It's an amazing venue, as you can see. There's the game between Scotland and Northern Ireland. There you can see Greg and JP concentrating between the two. There you can see Dan and the rest of the guys looking over these games. This is the game that's kind of interest to me. You've got Russ from Facehammer, Team England, over there in the corner against Dan George from the Bucks Wargaming Collective. And it's the body language on Dan George that's kind of getting me. Doesn't look overly happy. There's Laurie, the team coach for the weekend, overlooking the game. But I would say it doesn't look particularly positive.
It looks like Dan has lost 2 Mega Gargants.
It does. It doesn't.
And Nagash is still on the board there.
Yeah, I would say it's looking. That body language doesn't strike me as it being very positive, and that's the one that's going to. There's the Swedish in the background playing Northern Ireland. There's the team captain Mick Wendell in the side. There's the Welsh team coach also overlooking this game. Maybe we can get an update. Maybe our table boss can go and speak to the Welsh team coach and get us some sort of feedback and let us know. It looks like some of the other games aren't ongoing or they finished. That's the horror game that we're seeing not be on play. So look, the rest of the English and the Welsh team quite worried overlooking this game right now.
The Welsh team don't look happy, do they?
No,
look at Owen there. He's giving us a little wave.
Yeah, hello, Owen. Okay, so no one's willing to comment currently on that particular... no one wants to give us the update. Okay, and that's what it's like in team format Warhammer. It's very, very close. Okay, so just to keep you updated, table 1, Darren versus... This is over, right? This has been called. So we've only got table 2, and then we've got table 3. And look, Ricky's gone in.
Yeah.
He's done it. So Ricky's taken Archeon, he's moved him into the centre, he's taken out not all of them, Adam. What did I say? Even 10 Wardens. Oh, is that the Law Seeker?
That's not Law Seeker, right?
No, there's no Law Seeker.
Where's the spear?
Is that what it is? Because he's a High Warden.
Okay.
He's got a blade.
Fair enough.
He's got a blade. What did I say? Look, 10 wardens. That's what I'm saying about
There he
20
goes.
wardens.
He's just done it.
All right.
What do you say about it again? Sorry, mate.
Just trying to say wardens are pretty good.
And
Right,
then-
that's what I'm trying. Okay, it's Archeon's 900 points, right? The 10 spear dudes versus the Lord of the Everchosen. You kind of expect
I
him
mean,
to
that was
die.
just funny. Like,
I
the
know,
moment
yeah,
there,
that was the right moment.
But this is my problem with like the map play though, because actually with this castle here, Archeon can't do anything. But now Archeon sat here, he's making Matt go, you have to come to me where I can kill you.
Yes. Yeah, but like I don't know. Where did he shoot the sentinels last turn though? Must have shot him at nothing. Oh, they shot him at Archeon. How many wounds? How many wounds did he take?
2 or 3, and then Archeon's just used heroic recovery.
We'll find. We'll find.
And then he heals from the Nurgle as
How
well.
many wounds does he currently have, please? He's taken 2. Who 2? Who 2?
Taking 3 damage, Archeon there.
To England. Okay, so we had England. Another result coming in for this England match.
Okay.
Taking it to 2-2. 2 to England, 2 to Wales.
Okay.
Is the Gargant. Steve Curtis has taken out Soblight Gravelord.
Deepkin, I think. Deepkin.
And table 3, Matt Goldsborough's just 1 priority going into turn 3.
Okay.
Going into turn 3. Oh. Okay. Oh, so who's just recorded another win?
Sweden. Have
Sweden.
just won another game with a big 17-3.
Jonas. Jonas.
They're going to cap this round.
Yeah, they are
Sweden
going
are
to cap
playing
this.
for that 3rd place.
Sweden, fantastic job there. So currently, Richard Flood, Ken Smith, Dave Smith, and Will. A big fan of Dave Smith
Because
myself.
actually, Sweden so they capped the round yesterday. So this is going to be their 2nd capped round. Northern Ireland have only capped 2 rounds.
Well, they might bump over Northern Ireland. Interestingly, wonder if Scottish can hold the Irish back.
Maybe.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see. And just to give you an update about these 2 matches, especially if both these teams do a draw, looking like I would say England are in a driving position here because we've got 2 major wins.
No, it's 2 major losses to England, 2 major wins to Wales at the moment. Because if you let it say it's a major win.
Oh yeah. Okay. So it's 2 major wins to Wales, and it's 2 major wins to England at the minute. So the round is 2-2. So with our 2 games in attendance, Matt's really got to pull this out for his team.
I wouldn't be surprised if this whole round goes to a draw.
I mean that's very close. Very close. Could we go find out, please, from our TOs what the secondary is for the? We can find out.
It's
during lunch.
uncapped.
It's not.
Uncapped
is it
score.
uncapped?
And
Wales are
uncapped
dominating the
score
uncapped.
is insane.
Huge. Yeah, Wales currently got a massive uncapped score, but that's if these games go the way they want. Look, Archeon's dominating that mid board. Yeah, he's on 13 points. Ricky's still just having his turn, and he's going to score.
So Matt just won the priority.
Oh, Matt
just won the priority, and we're going into Matt's turn 3? Turn 4?
Matt's
Turn 4.
Turn 4. Yeah, we're going into.
I'm worried for Matt here.
Yeah.
Worried. I know he's got the turn, but the issue I'm seeing is what I said when this objective down here got burnt is that Matt's now forcing himself to come up that castle, which means that goading arrogance isn't going to stop Archeon. So Matt, to take this objective, has to throw something at Archeon where Archeon can kill him, and it's awkward. Again, I don't think Matt's in a terrible position. I just think he's put himself in an awkward position that he didn't need to be in. Whereas Ricky has still got all these Marauders, he's still got this, he's still got the War Shrine there, and anything that comes up here, the Marauders can go bang, bang, like that. And I just think Matt's put himself into an awkward position, which kind of sucks. A big cheer from someone. I think that was a Republic of Irish players.
It's Republic of Ireland. I've just been out there to check on them. The Republic of Ireland may have got themselves a game versus Sweden, so
okay,
they're super happy about that. That's all they need.
Well done them.
Well done them. It's going to be really good.
That's all they needed.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's looking very close, this match between Wales and England. England may well be. I think the big cheer was because the Republic of Ireland Archeon has used the sword to kill the Swedish Archeon.
Amazing.
absolutely brilliant.
Please tell me it was a Slave to Darkness Archeon, and then he went, I fight on death, and put the other one in the arc.
Yeah,
as a sword.
no, unfortunately. I mean, they're both Slave to Darkness Archeons, but
Why hasn't that happened? I'm going to go over there.
Yeah, that's great.
Excuse me.
Congratulations.
If you're doing it, do it properly.
That's always really fun. All right, table 2. This amazing game. Look, the Wardens have moved down to try and fight these zombies.
Yeah.
These other zombies in the bottom right have been taken out. Well, been whittled down by the shooting from the 2 wind spirits. This is conquer. This is the objective that JP's trying to achieve. He's looking to grab this. So currently it looks like there's 4 zombies or maybe 3 zombies on there. And so it's going to be super important.
That Fox does it nice and easy, though. He does 1 mortal wound for discharging. Then he's going to do the combat. And his combat profile is fairly good, actually.
It's not bad. We'll take a quick look at it, actually. So, yeah, on just the wind spirit, 2 attacks, 2s, 3s, Ren 2, D3 damage, and then D3 attacks with the swirling shards.
So the zombies get no save against any of those attacks.
That's true. That's true. And he's unlikely. Oh, we've got. Have we got
Mr. Lawseeker?
Is this Mr. Lawseeker who was deployed in this bottom right-hand corner in the building? We forgot about him. He's on the objective now, so he's gone and grabbed it.
I think this is a fairly even game.
Yeah. He wasn't deployed on the objective, so his lone wanderer rule or lone whatever it is called. In fact, actually,
Let's have a look.
Lone agent. He's a lone agent. He hasn't been able to achieve that. So, yeah.
Oh no.
I know. Oh no. Yeah, okay. We're going to try and fix this. While we try and fix the overhead, we're going to try and get an interview. Our table boss is out there right now grabbing an interview for you guys. Okay. Just do Darren or someone. Find out his game was. Would be good. But we're going to just fix that overhead for you guys because that's a disaster right now. And we'll talk about this match between Ricky and Matt. Matt currently in charge of this game. He's got the priority right now into turn 4. As you can see, he's done Conquer, Ferocious Advance, and Broken Ranks. So he's still got Bring It Down, he's still got Slay the Warlord. But with that being Archeon, it's very, very unlikely he's going to be able to do that. Like, it's going to be very unlikely he's able to bring them down. Of course, he's got... because Archeon is just unbelievable as a piece in competitive Age of Sigmar. He's got 20 wounds with a 3-up armor save. Yeah, he moves 14 inches if he's unwounded, but his attack profile is crazy. But what really happens is the spell ignore, so you can't really whittle him down with spell ignore. He's got a ward save of 4-up, so you have to do 40 mortal wounds to him before you can effectively take him out. Like, he's just so good as a piece.
I mean, those sentinels just do nothing into it.
I mean, they like, if they got Lambent Light off, they should do roughly 15 to 18 mortal wounds, which he halves, takes him down to 9. But that's still only half of his. That's only half of his pool. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. So he's only got half of his life pool, which is not enough, right?
Yeah, but then you heroic recovery, the Nurgle head heals him, and then you heroic recovery in your own opponent's turn. Because I won't be surprised if we see him heroic recovery at the start of Matt's turn, and we get him back up to almost full.
Yeah. Right, going over right now to Steve Curtis, who's going to step to his right a little bit, as will Mark. No, that's the other way.
Other right.
The other right. There we go. We're going to go over to Steve, who's going to talk to us. Steve and Mark, who are going to talk to us about what it's like representing Team England and going 19-1 with Gargants.
So, Steve, we've just seen you gone 19-1 with your list today. I was lucky enough to actually table boss for you when you were on stream for us yesterday, where things didn't necessarily go as much your way. So, how was your game today?
Yeah, really good. For me, the matchup was great. It was a green matchup for me, so I favoured that. I think Chris wanted the game against me, which we were quite happy with. But in terms of the game, I did what my list does best. I could actually win some priority rolls this game, so that helped me. But yeah, I sort of bunkered in. I gave away the turn. I didn't want to get doubled by his list. He can drop Gargants, but not as easily as he wants to. So I just sort of panned him out, baited him a little bit. The game was mine to lose. So in the end, we played turn 3. The game was beyond the reach. It was 18-9 to me. We mathed out the last couple of turns. He had 2 units left, and it's just about him denying me points. So it was 1 victory point short of a 20-0. But yeah, really good.
Close but no cigar. But so obviously Gargants at the moment within the current conversation of the scape of the game. Some people that say Gargants are like the easy army, and can we get a comment?
Yeah, sure. They are. I mean, they have weaknesses in teams. So there are lists out there that can be Gargants. But the trouble is, if you're building a list to have that damage check where you can destroy Gargants, and you've tailored your list to do that, and you go into a singles and you play 5 games, you don't play Gargants, then your list isn't optimal against everything else. So an all-comers list will struggle with Gargants. It's something you need to build into your list building. But yeah, I mean, they're a good army, but I've played 42 games with them now. I've lost 3 and I've drawn 1. So, I mean, they're good, but in the hands of a good player, they're great. So.
Okay, so obviously we look at the idea of like building the list to kind of counter for Gargants, particularly in team play where you're doing the matchups and things. So if you were going to build a list to beat yours, where'd you start?
So for me, there's 2 ways you can go about it: is pure damage output and board control. So there are a couple of tricky lists that can stop me playing my game. So the thing that Gargants want to do is play their game. They want to sit on the objectives. They're 20 or 30 models, and they just want to not die. So you need to do 2 things: is stop them getting onto those objectives. So lists like the 3 Foxes, Techless control builds, Be'lakor, Legion of the First Prince, they're all the control builds that can take them out. Or you go the other way, which is the raw output. So 20 Blood Knights and a Gash, Iron Drakes in cities lists, Sentinel spam potentially, but not really. But all those heavy impacts. I mean, I've got a Soul Black Gravelord list that I'm building at the minute, which is my anti-Gargant list, which is 40 Graveguard with Belladamma and Gatebreaker. So they can drop 2 Gargants a turn.
That sounds amazing. So obviously you're here representing England, good old Blighty. How have you found the event this weekend, and what's it like representing your country for AOS?
Amazing. So for me, this is sounds cliche, but my dream come true for my AOS career. So I've been working towards this for the past 2-3 years. I've just been getting the reps in, going to as many events as I can, playing the best game I can, and against the best players. I was lucky enough to make it into the cut, pre-COVID. We couldn't play the year before, so this is it. So this is my debut, my first cap. It's amazing. It's exactly what I expected. It's the best players in the countries. It's everything is clean and tight, and the gaming level is up here. So the atmosphere is amazing, and I love it.
So what do you think? Obviously, with the AOS being a team format Warhammer, that's different to going to just a singles event, playing for yourself, as it were, and just kind of getting those wins. So what does Team Warhammer change for you, and how do you enjoy it?
Yeah, so I really like the dynamic. It's all about the dynamic of pairings and matchups. So, you'd find quite a lot of these lists at singles because they're just good lists. But then a lot of these lists are tailored specifically to deal with certain threats, which in a team event, you want to be matching in to deal with those things. If you've got your anti-Gargant lists and you've tailored it to do that thing, you want to try and match those into those Gargant things, and you can do that because it is teams. Playing in singles, you have kind of got to bring that all-comers list because you just don't know. I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's impossible to make a list that can deal with every army that's out there and every issue. So, you might get 4-1, you might get 5-0 if you get a lucky draw or you play the right things, but if I'm running my Gargants and game 5 I come up against 30 Iron Drakes in cities that blast me off turn 1, then I've lost, haven't I? So,
well, Steve, thanks very much for your time. Do you have any shout-outs?
So I'm from the Bucks Wargaming Collective in Wickham, so big shout out to all my boys. And just everyone here and you guys and Rob and the team. Support's been awesome, so yeah, that's it.
So thanks very much, Steve. And you heard it here first. Gargants, walk forward, kick stuff. Over to the commentary team.
Welcome back to these exciting final 2 games of round 4 of Age of Sigmar 6 Nations. There's one more round after this, but we got to say this feels like one of the deciding matches.
Yeah,
England are against Wales. We're very, very close to finding out what the results of some of these matches are going to be. It's currently 2 major wins to England, 2 major wins to Wales. If they tie the round, it's really going to happen what happens with Sweden, what happens with Northern Ireland.
Yep.
It's going to become very close, and it's going to really depend on what happens in the follow-up matches, because England go on to face Northern Ireland, another tough matchup for the day, whereas Wales go on to what would seem as like a slightly easier matchup for their follow-up. So we've just found out that JP has burnt the objective with the Wardens on. So over here, so he's got himself that objective. JP's looking very dominant here. On table 3, this match between Ricky. We've seen Matt Goldsboro move forward.
Yep.
Look at Teclis. Yes, give me 1 second. Teclis has just grabbed that top right objective. He's teleported himself over. He's playing aggressive. You just weren't giving him time.
I'm sorry. Did you just say Teclis is up?
Teclis in the top
Teclis?
right-hand corner against the Iron Golem.
He's learnt from Archie.
He's learned from Archie. Right, let's go find out right now what it's like playing against Alex Bruce's Torch Kane, playing for England. We're going back to our interview with Matt Matt Mallow is giving us our interview against Darren Watson right now. Here we go.
There we are. Try again. We'll go again. Okay. Go. Right. Okay. Shirt on.
Livid, I got told to put it back on. Apparently it's common sense to not get your nipples out in a gaming store. So I'm really hot at the moment and bothered.
We'll put down the FAQ next time. No nipples.
Can you put it? No, yes to nipples.
Sorry, yes nipples. Sorry,
Everyone likes nipples, don't they?
Bold statement. Yeah. So how was that game for you? It looked pretty dominant early on and kind of just stayed that way.
So you got to play to your outs. So I'm kind of up against it in this mission. Alex can be incredibly aggressive because we're 13 inches onto the board, so that's 26 inches on our front lines and a 44-inch table. So you've got even less time than you have in most missions, the diagonally or the 11-inch on. So I feel I have to give away the priority, which denies him the double and gives me the double. I know it's really basic stuff, but it's something a lot of people I've seen here not do against this particular list, because he's beaten a couple of Seraphon lists and they've both taken the first turn, which is I think is a mistake. So yeah, you've got to accept that you're going to take. It's a bit like chess. You know, chess, you're supposed to sacrifice pieces, right? Okay, so you've got to accept you're going to lose some. I did what I think is my best play of this tournament and perhaps any tournament. I'm not sure you may have not seen it on.
Wow.
But I deployed my two salamanders into some mystical terrain with cover, and then I noticed that he was making sure that all of his bow snakes were 32 inches away from them. Okay, but he had them in layers, and then his Marathi shot did 5 mortal wounds with her thing. Rather than take my skinks off, which were behind my salamanders, I took my salamander off, left my other salamander on 1 wound, and then when he then shot his first unit of snakes, took another salamander off, right? And then he did another unit, and then it left me with 3 skinks that are now no longer in range of anything. So I haven't lost my entire unit. I then keep them alive with using a command point, and then rally 2 back, and then brilliant. So I was really, really pleased with that. The general consensus, I think, would be to take the skinks off. I know this is such a silly little play, but I'm really, really pleased.
Well, it paid off, so it can't be like,
really,
yeah.
really,
Well,
really,
the reality is if you didn't do that, you'd have lost a unit.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you've given
really,
yourself an
really
opportunity to keep the unit, and it paid off, right? So
yeah, and it really helped me out. And then I obviously got Seraphon on the double. I will try and win any game as quickly as possible, because I do not like being stressed in a game. And Seraphon on a double, 9 times out of 10 will win. Certainly with the prime coming down, doing so much AoE. Yeah, and luckily you either get the double into 1 or you get the double into 2, and normally it's game, and luckily for me I got the double into 2.
Well, we saw that in both your game and in Andy Hughes' game, where we saw 2 salamanders do 13 damage to a turtle. It was horrific as well. So it kind of stands to things.
Salamanders are silly.
Yeah, no, 100%. So obviously we're in a team environment, and obviously we have green, amber, and red matchups.
Yeah.
That's pretty standard. Was this a green matchup for you, or?
It was a green matchup, because this is a Daughters of Cain list that's only got a 6-up save. It's got loads of really bitty units, but I've got so much AoE. I've got Seraphon. I've got board-wide threats. I mean, come on. They've got board-wide unbind, so they're not getting any of their magic. I'm getting all my magic through 9 times out of 10, which is not how Warhammer should be. But that's where we are. That's another conversation, isn't it? And this is a team event. I'm now trying to justify why I'm using such a horrible list, and as I'm saying it, I'm realising I'm just sounding like a. But really good, really strong.
So if you don't mind saying, what would you use if you knew you were coming up against you with your own list? What would you play to beat your list? I
got no words. I got no words for that list. Jeez, 6 times they've tried.
It is horrible, isn't it? It is a horrible list to play.
It's not a list. It's not a game. Like everything. That's another conversation.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, yeah. We'll stay off that one. No, cool. Yeah. So, how are you feeling this morning, compared to how you're feeling now in terms of this, like how it's going and how the matchup is? And
honestly, I lost my favourite chicken yesterday, Beatrice, and I was feeling really, really sad. And now I'm feeling. I've got my girlfriend. My girlfriend's at home. I'm really keen to get home and look after her because she's in bits. So shout out to Beatrice and shout out to Alex. But that's really got me in a good mood. Cheered me up.
no, fantastic. Thank you very much. I did mean about Warhammer, but obviously that's secondary. How can we possibly talk about Warhammer now? Because obviously that's far more important. So it's fantastic. Thank you very much for the interview. It's always delightful to talk to you. And we'll hand it back to the lads. But thank you very much.
Welcome back to the Age of Sigmar Six Nations. R.I.P. Beatrice, of course, always. It's Rob and Adam in the booth as we watch these two matches between JP Stevens and Greg. Wales versus England. We have just heard, and I did call it, there was a match. We heard another result come in. England versus Wales with the Gargants. Dan losing out to Russ, 19-1.
Apparently Russ literally won that game by 1 point.
By 1 point, so it
1
can't have
point.
been 19-1 if it was. No.
Apparently it was 1 point win, so it would be what was that, 15-5.
15-5, okay.
But a win's a win in this game.
Yeah, a win's a win, yeah, very important. It makes some big changes. So actually that 1 point difference, so that's huge because that basically puts England on 3 wins, Wales on 2.
Yep.
So Wales have to win every following game, and for every game that England win, and look at this game because Greg probably can't pull this back for England. JP versus Greg. JP doing really well. I don't know if they're just tallying up the score right now. Let me just talk you through what's happened. This center objective has been burnt. This bottom objective has been burnt. We've just seen the handshake. We've just seen the handshakes.
This has been such an intense game as well, hasn't it?
Look, Nagash on here. Grab this objective. We're going to find out what the final score is. We can't hear that at all.
JP's won that game.
JP's
won it.
JP has won a game 25 points against 28, so he's got 28.
Yep.
28 versus 25, which means it's a 15-5, which puts England on 4 wins, which means that the best that Wales can hope to do is draw the round. It's back. It's on the golden boy. That's right.
It's
the shuffler.
The golden boy.
The golden boy. The golden boy, sorry.
And I'm so happy. Like, this is... as soon as Teclis moved up here, I knew Archeon was coming this way to get him in the sword. And I wouldn't be surprised. We've literally seen one model cap this objective. So, again, Ricky's going for that hold 1, hold 2, hold more.
He is. He's moved one model on. It's so close.
We could see Teclis go down. As much as this was a cool play, I think, again, it's just let Archeon come in and do what he wants to do.
Do you think he was spooked by Archeon? I'm not sure. Maybe he thinks he can tank Archeon with Teclis.
I genuinely think it's all come down to this objective that happened.
So this is on previous and turn 2. So give you an update of what we've seen happen so far, effectively. Turn 1, Matt did a classic shuffle, and then he shot the Gouldsborough Shuffle at this point. He shot off a Varangard. The Varangard then, one Varangard rallied. That unit of Varangard went in there on the double that Ricky had. Ricky didn't do much with that double. He just moved Archeon up here, taking out an Alapex that had been allied into the team. There we go. JP's had to sit down. We just got because he's played such a blinder versus Greg. So great work there. But that was off screen. Anyway, the Alapex there is dead. And then after this, it all comes down to the turn 3 priority. The turn 3 priority taken by Matt.
Yep.
Given away. Ricky then burns his bottom objective. This is where Adam thinks it's a mistake. Adam thinks, so
Matt took that priority, which let Ricky burn that objective. And I genuinely think this whole game is going to come down to that. Because if Matt gave the turn, Ricky couldn't do anything with it, which meant Matt could have burnt this and just stayed in that castle.
Yeah, it's interesting because Ricky hasn't committed anything to this game.
That's what I mean.
He hasn't committed here. He hasn't committed the War Shrine. All of his army. He's got 30 Marauders. He's got the War Shrine. All of it's just moved forward. And as you can see now, Archeon and the Marauders are into Teclis.
Are we going to see a Slayer of
Are
Kings?
we going to see Teclis put... No, this is the Slaves of Darkness,
so you've
Archeon.
actually got to roll dice.
You've got to roll dice. But Slayer of Kings, if you wound... basically, if
you get 2 6s
two
to
sixes
wound.
with the wound dice, you take Teclis off the board, you put him in the sword.
He goes in the sword.
Chat, do you want Teclis in the sword? Do you want Teclis to live? This is. I know. Yeah. This is. What
I
could
think
you
the pressure's gotten to Wales in this round.
I think it has. I think they've overthought. I mean, I don't know if it was the pairings, right? Like, I don't see some of these games going any other way. That Castelli list versus JP. I think JP had that game all day.
Yes.
Like,
I think it came down to who went first, and because it was a roll off for that, because they were both one drops, right? No, because it can't be a one drop for. But JP going first was the decider there, right?
Which is why the pairing was bad,
yeah.
right? But I think Greg played like the most phenomenal blind to try and get himself back in the match.
Greg, if you got any of the priorities, he took the game, right?
Oh, yes, true. Turn 2 or 3, and actually had the priority role gone to Alex in turn 2 as well.
Yep.
In that England versus Wales match with Darren, that also could have gone to Wales. So that priority role really showcasing just like how important it is, and swinging these matches from wins into losses. And on another day, maybe Wales are 5-3 up.
Yeah,
but they're not. They're currently 4-3 down.
They are.
And they need this match. So it's gonna. So. This is kind of good, though, because it means neither team whitewashed the other, which means we've got an exciting round 5 for Age of Sigmar Six Nations.
Exciting round.
Because it brings the other teams back into contention. Yeah, so Sweden have rocked up. Off their initial 4 major wins, they've now put in 2 major losses from them. So Ireland got themselves a couple of matches. Ken and John both bringing themselves some major wins. And then in Scotland versus Northern Ireland, there's 2 major losses for Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland would have loved to have absolutely totaled on that match against Scotland. And we've still got some results to come in. They would have liked to have capped, because that would have put them in the driving.
It's still possible to cap, though, if they win every single game. So there's 2 major losses. If they win the other, and they've got 1 major win. If they win 5 more games, they are going to cap.
They will cap. And that's going to be really exciting, because Northern Ireland go on to play England.
Yep.
And is it Sweden versus Wales?
Sweden versus Wales. And Sweden is a very good team.
Sweden is a very good team.
Liara, the Swedish champion, showed us that she is an incredible Daughters of Cain player yesterday.
Yep.
The other players that were playing on that stream that round was the best round I think I've ever done coverage-wise. Yeah. And Sweden was really, really good Warhammer players.
Yeah,
so they can hold Wales to account in that round 5.
Let's see what everyone in the chat's saying. Elf in the Sword, Grotty, thanks for subscribing. Colonel Cabbage of Greg, yeah, he's right. If Greg wins turn 2, he would have used the Blade Lords to pile in. I agree 100%. Bobbin, no Sweden, come on. I know you want Sweden. Is this what are we seeing right here? We're just waiting to see. It doesn't look like the Elf is in the Sword. Wait, can we get some updates, please? Because we've heard nothing about this so far. And see how these combats are rolling out would be great. And see who's activating into who.
Oh, I'm really excited for this. It's like that nervous tension, isn't it? Like, you're wanting to know, is Teclis going in the Sword? But actually, Archeon's potential... He probably does, without Slayer's Kings, he's probably not got the output to deal with Teclis. Because Teclis is... So Teclis didn't go in the Sword. Teclis didn't go in that Sword, and then he's going to survive the rest of the attacks, because I'm assuming that Matt has double-tapped the Aether Quartz on Teclis. He's got a protection of Teclis up, so he's going to be on a 2-up, 5-up, ignoring Rend 1.
Yeah, okay, so I told you. Yeah, 4-up base. So
Teclis is a 4-up base?
Yeah, 4-up base. He goes to a 3-up, yeah.
What?
Yeah, which is why you'd probably see people be more tentative with him.
Yeah,
if he had
a
3-up save. It's kind of weird to have him hold a 4-up save, but don't forget, because he's Sai, he's got Aether Quartz, absolute blinded by Greg. Yeah,
Greg played incredibly.
Greg and JP, maybe game of the weekend for me.
Yeah. It was a brilliant game. It was one of those games that was really back and forth, right? Like that Liara versus Dave in the Northern Round.
That was also a great game.
Yeah.
So Teclis got 7 wounds left, but look, he's tanking the objective.
We've still got Marauders to go. The Marauders went in as well.
So don't forget, he's got teleport, right? So he's just taking all this, and then he's just like, do you know what? I'll teleport away. Like, whatever.
Yeah, but who cares? It means I've got this objective. He's got this objective. He's capped it with whatever this is here. I think it's a Chaos Sorcerer Lord.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
don't know what Matt's
he's going to get the hold to hold more.
He is.
Again, plus probably a battle tactic for Conquer.
Can we just make sure we got the scores completely right? 16-13. Ricky versus...
I think this is right.
Versus Matt. So Archeon was roared, so he can't pile an attack twice. So he's got that, and then we'll just see what he's able to achieve. So the battle tactic this round for Ricky isn't broken. Is it broken? It can't be broken rank. So we'll just make sure because this is turn 4, right?
Yep.
So and he's got the priority in turn 4. So we'll just find out what his battle tactic is. So we should be able to know that soon. And then we'll know what he's got left to activate.
Yeah.
So his battle tactic was aggressive expansion, which he's got, which is this and grab this. So grab 2 uncontested. Let's just go show you for.
So it's grab 2 objectives that aren't in your deployment zone.
Yeah.
Or wholly within your territory.
Yeah, and then control both at the end of the turn. So he's done that. So he has achieved that. So he's scored his battle tactic, which is good, but he hasn't brought tech list down.
I think this is going to go Ricky's way.
But then this gives Matt a turn now, right? On turn 4. This gives Matt a turn.
Okay. Yeah.
So Matt moves here. Like, he can move the wardens in. He can
but again, I think he moves there, but then Ricky goes, whoop.
Well, he's going to tell it. He's
come to me.
Well, is he?
If Techless goes down, like if Techless goes down,
I
right,
don't think
there's
he's
no
going
teleport.
down.
And then even if he doesn't go down, okay, you can teleport something over here, but now you've got to send 10 wardens into.
No, that's a brick of
Archeon.
20.
Okay, but you send it into Archeon and all 30 Marauders.
Yeah, no, I don't think he does that though. I think what he does is he does Serum White Light.
Okay.
Yeah. Then he teleports away.
Which does nothing to Archeon because he's got the spell ignore and the ward.
You're not trying to. You're just doing it to
onto
everyone
the Marauders,
else.
right?
Yeah. Right, you're doing it to everyone else.
Yeah.
Right, and then you're moving the warden forwards. The Sentinels shoot off the Marauders.
Yeah.
Right. You can charge these on. Right, and then you've got tech list. You're holding the 1 is the point, right?
Yeah, but he can't hold the 1. That's the issue because he's points behind.
Oh, he has to hold 2.
He has to get the hold 2.
He does. It's looking really rough.
And because don't forget, it's a 2-point swing by holding 2 in this. And now because of the primary, because it's obviously hold 1, hold 2, hold more. If you hold 2, you hold more.
Yeah, you hold more. Yeah. So he's just looking to.
That's what I'm saying. He has to be aggressive now. And Ricky's like, all right, come at me.
Yeah.
I've got Archeon sat here.
Which is pretty wild. For fan. So for Sweden, for Swedish fans out there to know, Sweden have capped their round. So they have got their maximum points available. So looking to play forward. And Northern Ireland versus Scotland looks like it's a drawn round.
Wow.
Yeah, so Northern Ireland in the next round, and then also Sweden in the next round.
Scotland having a word with themselves last night.
Scotland have a real word with themselves. Both of them potentially in the next round are going to be kingmakers. Northern Ireland looking to bring England down to make sure that they don't cap. Sweden looking to do the same, and maybe even bunny hop over Wales if they manage to cap the round.
Yeah.
So looking to work really hard. So Sweden
this is
in it.
Really interesting game 5.
Yeah, really interesting round 5 coming up. But we wow, Northern Ireland. I agree. Wow.
Yeah.
As a completely unbiased reporter, in no way invested in any of the teams.
Yeah, hang on. You get a T-shirt. I got a dice.
Okay, so table 3. So we are in. So we've got to go into priority into turn 5 or turn 4. We'll just get that updated because we need the overlay.
I think we're going
updated.
into turn 4. I think we're going into turn 4 because Matt won the priority, right? And then Ricky me went second in this, and then I think we're going into priority of turn 4. This is why I think Ricky's got it. Because there's only 5 minutes left of the round, so I think they're in a chat about how if Matt can actually.
So is
take
it priority
this.
for 4 or 5? That's the update we'd like to know. And then after that, so it looks like the players with only 5 minutes left on the round are taking their time to work out what they think is going to happen. Which means we might not know the result ASAP. It'd be good to know. Why are you in a warehouse, Rob? It's a great question. Now, don't forget, if you guys want to find out any information coming up, you can obviously follow along on Age of Sigmar 6 Nations on Twitter. You can also follow the T-Sports Network on Twitter and find out any info there that you need to know. And they have also put
Owen and Dan have been doing a great job with their Twitter this weekend.
They have. They've been doing detailed breakdowns of the round results, so you guys can check those out if you need to know what the results are. And then I think we're just going to be waiting to find out. It's 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes.
This is actually a really, really important match, though.
It's very important.
Because it's a case of a draw or a win. Because it's 4-3 at the moment, right?
It's 4-3.
So if Matt does take it, it'll be a 4-4.
Yeah.
If Ricky gets it, it's going to be a 5-3.
So to give you an update of what's happened, Dan Bradshaw lost against Andy Hughes 18-2. Tom Maudsley lost against Simon Weekly, 15-5. The wins for England were pretty big. Darren Watson winning 31 to 1 against Alex Bruce. Sorry, not 31, 19-1 against Alex Bruce. Steve Curtis winning against Chris Myhill, 19-1. And then Terry Pike winning against Rick Myhill, 17-3. And then I don't think we've put in the results yet for our game against JP.
Greg and JP.
JP versus Greg, which was a 15-5. So England basically are on 4 majors versus Wales is 3 majors. So this result right now between Matt and Ricky is going to decide basically whether it's a 5-3 or a 4-4, and that's going to be so crucial going into the final round. Very crucial. So they're just working it out as we know. But yeah, that's it. It's been an exciting round so far.
It's been a brilliant round. I was going into this thinking this is going to be a good round, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the most important round of the whole tournament. But it's actually blown me away by how good it's been.
Yeah.
Like watching Darren, take that army off in 2 turns and just like surgically remove the Daughter's Cane. Watching Andy versus Dan.
I mean, Andy versus Dan was great. That was a bit like it was very back and forth,
but it was still close. I know, obviously, it finished turn 3, right? But it was literally down to the priority.
Yeah.
And then Greg JP.
Greg playing the most blinding game of Warhammer
I don't even know what to say.
He tried his hardest. He tried his hardest. He did everything he could to bring himself. Don't forget, if you guys just joined us, Greg, with his Nagash, having lost Manfred on the first turn, rolled an 11-inch charge, which wasn't enough to get into Severith. So CP re-rolled it into a 12, which is just unbelievable. Got the charge in, but then unfortunately meant he couldn't actually pile in and attack the Sentinels, which he was trying to charge, bunny hop around Severith, because he actually took a stand and shoot an Unleash Hell from the Sentinels, and those Sentinels killed themselves in the Mortal Wounds back.
Yep. It was just unreal. And because they killed themselves, Archeon then couldn't get, or not Archeon, Nagash couldn't get into them. It was just a mental game, and I'm still kind of processing it now. But it was good fun. It's been really good. I just really can't wait to find the result for this game, because this is really, really important.
Yeah, 4-4 gives Sweden a shot at the podium.
Even a 5-3 gives Sweden a chance of a podium.
Even a 5-3.
Because Northern Ireland just drew that round.
Yeah, oh, there's the handshake. I think we might be getting a result from our table boss any moment. We'll get the info ASAP.
Oh, I wonder who's it going to be.
Yeah.
Who's it going to be?
Anytime. It'd be great to know what the results and information is. We're going to find out the information in a moment. I hope you guys have enjoyed today. It's been really fun. Don't forget you can obviously subscribe to Twitch. Only time I'll say it this weekend, but don't forget you can always do that. It's super worthwhile to do so. And then it will be. Don't forget to join us for the next round.
So I've just heard.
Yeah.
Right. They've talked it out. Ricky has taken it and won 15-5.
Amazing.
So it's really, really close game.
Amazing. Absolutely brilliant. 15-5. That means England have won the round against Wales.
They have.
They're the reigning champions, on for the victory.
Really are on
here
for the victory
at
now.
Six Nations. Oh, it is all to play for.
Northern Ireland, no pressure into Game 5. They're the ones that are going to stop England from winning.
Yeah, it's huge. Absolutely huge. Okay, what an exciting round. Congratulations to England in this match.
Yeah.
Very good. We've got loads to play for. Are Sweden going to get a podium? Are Northern Ireland going to stop England? Are Wales going to cap the next round? Loads to play for.
So much to play for.
Yeah, you guys will be able to see the round times coming up soon. Thanks for tuning in. I've been Adam. Thanks to our table bosses, Mark and Matt. We'll see you guys soon. Have a nice day.
Bye.